My computer is like freezing up on me as I'm trying to get everybody logged in. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
What's
How
up?
is everybody doing tonight?
Doing all right. A little
Mhm.
vocally drained because I had a kick-ass show Wednesday.
Are you
Um,
feeling vocally drained too? I've been doing recording and all that
that
jazz.
that it
So
feels like there's something in the air lately. Like I've been having sinus issues, and a few other people have too.
same. Yep.
I can feel it's
Present.
tired. I probably
Present.
sound a little raspy.
You do.
What's up, Say Wong? Say Wong
Say
was out at
one.
Crunchyroll last week. That was just madness from what I am understanding. This is the big time for cons, dude. Anthony's going out tomorrow, right?
Woot woot.
Yes, it's Stockton Con.
Stockton Con.
Stockton done.
And on top of that, I mean, like, okay, I don't know. Can we talk about the birthday thing? Is that like a show? Anybody can go to that? Should we tell people about that?
Oh yeah. No, it's a excuse me. It's a graduation party. It's not a birthday. But yeah, no, it's open to the public. They are selling tickets right now at the downtowntheater.com website. Granted, it's like that bougie way of spelling theater, so it's like theatre.
And keep in mind, we're talking about Fairfield. This is not
Yes,
out in Lodi.
Fairfield. This is
This
out
is
in Fairfield at the downtown theater. It's a nice big venue. They sold out the floor seats so far, and now they have the balcony open. But as far as I'm aware, there's still seats available. And it's kind of like a one-time deal, but there's like 10 of us performing. I'm going to see some like old friends of mine from like back in my Sacramento days. I'm going to reunite with some of my theater people. And then there's a couple of new queens that I have not met yet, but I've seen a lot of on social media. So it's going to be like, oh, I seen you, bitch. You want to come to my show?
wow. Surprisingly, it looks like Say Wong A said he read about that in the newspaper, and B,
Ooh.
people still read the newspaper.
They
Who,
do.
What?
who,
That's
Yeah.
why
knew?
it's an icon.
Wow,
Yes.
that sounds very cool. And you actually are good. Do you know where you are in your lineup?
I don't. I know that we open the doors at 7, which means that they're going to be selling drinks. Which good, they should. And then we're going to start the show at 8. I have to get there at 5:45 because we're going to coordinate and do some mild choreography for Lady Marmalade as an opener, and I'm going to be playing Pink. So I have a feeling I'm early in the lineup as far as that. Like I'm opening the show. I know that they want to do a whole like Met Gala pageant gown look thing at some point, but I think that's going to be the closer. And then outside of that, I'm guessing I must be like in the middle or late part of the show if I'm opening and I need time to change. But
Well,
otherwise, it should be relatively painless. I'm singing Ursula's Poor Unfortunate Souls if I still have a voice.
Oh my
Irony
god.
is palpable there. I'm singing about a sea which steals voices.
oh, the irony.
The
Yeah.
irony.
Irony.
Yeah.
So we'll
That's
see.
awesome.
Fortunately, she's got like a deep throaty kind of cackle anyway, so I might just be fucked on a couple of high notes. We'll see. We'll see. Don't
Hello, hello.
Hi, Janina.
So
Really
that will be
good.
tomorrow. So you are getting up in the morning. You're going to go to Stockton Con.
Yes,
You're
drag.
in drag. Wait,
Yes,
so you're
sir.
going to be Ursula all day long?
No, I'm going as Aerith to Comic-Con because I want to wear flats and I want people to run up and like have that little moment like, oh my god, it's you! Because I'm gonna have like my flowers with me. I'm looking for my little. It's a paperweight, but it looks like the holy materia,
Right.
and I want to
Oh,
have
that's awesome.
just in case somebody says, "Do you still have it?" I'd be like, "It's right here." Like,
All right.
Oh my
So
God.
you're going to rest well on Sunday, is what it sounds like.
I'm actually going for day 2 of Stockton Con,
Ooh.
and I'm going as Dr. Mrs. the Monarch that day, so that'll be fun.
I am
You're,
so
you're going
excited
to have
about
an
that.
exceptionally deep voice, aren't you?
Well, that's the great thing about this. I can just stay in character all fucking day and enjoy the hell out of it.
That's great. That's
Someone's
exactly
gonna come
what
up to
we
me
wanted.
for like, can I take a picture with you? According to this new campaign from the Guild of Calamitous Event, I am actually obligated by Article 3. So yes, let's take a picture.
Wow.
That's amazing.
have some fun
I
with it.
love it.
Dude, I love
think
how
that
you
is
do all your
amazing.
different characters.
So great.
It's
You
why
have
I
so
want to
many
be a
to choose
goddamn
from.
voice actor. I just don't know where I can actually apply for shit like that.
We have that. Did you jump on
Well,
that
we
voice
are in
actor
the
page?
works. We are in the works of doing shit like that.
There's a page.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a Kyber Cave side thing. We'll talk about that in the
Okay.
We'll get you on there. We'll get you on there. There's no reason you shouldn't be on there. David, how has your week been, man? What's new with you?
My week has just been a whirlwind of busyness with work. I'm on a project right now where we're building a restaurant, and it's getting near completion, sort of, but not near enough to completion to feel like it's actually getting done. It's just it's been a huge undertaking,
Right.
and I've been running to and fro, just not getting a moment's rest.
Well, at least construction is moving again, man. It looked like for a long time there just nothing was happening. Projects were just sitting half finished. And if you're doing projects, that means you're making money and you're working, right?
Well, hey, that's another good thing about this type of project. It's a restaurant, so it's something everybody wants. It's not like just remodelings where people go, okay, we're about to be in a recession. I ain't paying for shit.
Right. All right, Miss Aubrey, what about you? How's your week been?
Music recording.
Woohoo! I see you
He's
karaokeing it up all over the state.
I mean, maybe, but no, I've been working on some original stuff. Really, actually.
Nice.
I feel you. I feel you, Anthony, on the voice throat thing. It's been weird this week. But yeah, I've just finished an original song, working on another one. So
We need a sample.
Woohoo! Yeah, no, we have to. I know we've got singers and people that play music here on the show. We need you guys to all work together and come up with a theme song for the show.
I'm working
you know
on
what?
I'm working on stuff right now.
I've got one for you. I just don't know how to. I just don't know how to really record it.
Oh, well, we need to talk about that.
It's only about 30 seconds long, but it's heavy and it's in drop C. So.
Oh, okay, well, our current intro is only 17 seconds long, so
Okay.
Gorillas, and we have little animated versions of us. I could draw that shit too.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
no,
That'd be
dude,
awesome.
we're gonna try to get professionals. I've been talking to Mezzo about getting us almost like, what do you call those, like Z cards and stuff like that? Because when we go to conventions, I can pass them out to people and show them, these are the people that are on the show. These are the people in your neighborhood.
How do I send some samples so we can play them on the show, man? So I can send
Samples
some
of
stuff.
what, music? Oh, yeah, we'll talk to Metsa. She carries the brains of the operation.
That's so.
Say Wong says Stockton Com is this weekend. Next weekend is Mag West, and the week is Silicon, and after that Labor Day weekend Sac Anime. Silicon, you know who's going to be at Silicon? Ray Parks is going to be there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay,
Ray
I didn't know
Parks.
about
What?
Oh, email
Huh?
you. Okay.
Darth Maul is going to be there.
Ray Parks will be there, and another one of my personal favorites, George Takai, will be there.
Oh, nice!
my.
Yay!
Oh, my.
Oh my!
How can you not love George Takai?
I don't know.
So
I think
yeah,
it's
so
actually decay. It's decay, not decay, as everyone's
Is it
been saying.
decay?
all
It
week.
is
It's decay.
is it Takei?
It is decay.
Tomato, Takei,
Like it
Takai.
rhymes with
It's
gay. It's
Japanese.
like,
It
hey,
doesn't
I'm.
work that way.
Oh,
No,
you
he
can't
even
do
said he goes-
tomato with somebody's name there, Van.
Yeah, he says it's like it's decay, as in rhymes with I'm gay.
I'm gay. Okay, I got it. That works. Well, at any rate, no less, I still love the man. The man is fantastic.
All right.
Whatever his name is. Even Say Wong is getting on me down there.
I know. Say Wong, yeah, hit him with that. Hit him.
We are very fortunate. If you do not live in California, move here, but make sure it's a place that doesn't have a lot of fires. We are blessed.
It's no longer the Golden State; it's the Golden Brown State.
It's the fire state. We're very fortunate that if you are into cons, pretty much every weekend you can find, if not a con, you can find a toy meet get together or something going on somewhere. So yeah, Say Wong is correct. Matt, what is going on?
Thank you, Matt. I thought so too. Complimented my hair sign.
V.
So, can you please just send me the email in our chat? If you could.
What is going on, V? How are you tonight?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Loud
We
and clear.
can.
Yay. Okay. Nothing much. I just got done doing an excellent week of nerdalism, and we're gonna do more tomorrow. Lots of stuff. I'm gonna be going on a trip pretty soon. I'm gonna go see Shakespeare. I'm excited. Are
you going to like Ashland?
I'll be excited.
Yeah.
Oh, their festival, huh?
Yeah. I'm shooting a movie somewhere around Ashland, Medford, and like out there. And then we're like, well, may as well waste the trip and let's go to Ashland and see Shakespeare because I've always wanted to do that. So
Awesome.
Wait, what do you mean you've always wanted to do that? Didn't you like live there forever up in Oregon? Dude, I thought you were like the Shakespeare nut. I would have thought that would have been like something you do every summer.
I did Shakespeare up in Portland, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Southern Oregon.
Yeah, Ashland's got its own whole vibe down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's incredibly artsy there, and I'm so excited because like the Shakespeare Festival there. I've been to the one in Sacramento, I've been to the one up in Portland, but all I'm excited because this is the one that I've always wanted to go to and never made it.
Woohoo! All right, well you gotta take lots of pictures of that. Make sure that you check that out.
Definitely.
And then you had. So, are you taking a break from your show then when you take off, or do you have like ones just kind of like in the wings ready to go, or how does that work?
I am literally going to be like sitting down in my chair 5 seconds after I get back home and doing another interview, which is so we're going to be doing one tomorrow with one of my guests, and then we're going to have one of our own on the day that I come back. So it should be really crazy.
Woohoo, man! You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I've got John coming on. I'm excited. Finally, I was supposed to have him as my first guest, and then we kept rescheduling, and I feel
John
really
Michaels?
bad. John Michaels, yeah.
Woo!
Yay,
I know that guy.
I know, right?
All right. Hey, Steve is on. Speaking of people who have shows, he does shows on Wednesday nights, except for the next 3, because he's doing like vacation or something like. I've heard about vacations. I've never actually taken one, but I heard they're fantastic. What's up from the? Oh no, he's already on the road in Indiana Truck Stop. What is up, Steve?
What's up, Steve? And boo that you're doing them on Wednesday nights because I have a show on Wednesday nights.
I know, dude. Everybody's piling up on nights when we have things, but there's only 7 in a week. I guess that's bound to happen. We can't all be fabulous and not crash into each other at some point.
There's not enough. There's not enough days of the week. There's not enough hours in the day.
I need 5 more hours. I need 5 more hours per day just for sleep, and I'll be happy.
Right?
Say Wong says cons have become vacations for me.
Sleep is for the week.
Oh, Wong. I don't even know how you guys do cons. Like, they exhaust me. My life is way too busy lately. I'm like I watch these kids run around those cons, and they're like, I need a drink and an
Sounds like someone's getting old.
I just like any excuse to dress up as something I like as a nerd, and then have people like want to take pictures with me. That feeds my ego. Give me all the attention.
I will be excited when we finally take you guys out on the road to do like autograph tours and stuff like that for the shows that we are doing.
That'll be quick.
What?
I think that's a cute segue into our first topic.
I think that is a great segue into our first topic.
The master of segues.
No,
The
are
Master
you?
of Universe?
Anthony's trying to become like David over there.
I
All
know,
right.
right? That's what I'm
Well,
trying to say.
which one
I
are we
thought it
doing
was-
first?
Our first
Celebrities.
topic for
Oh, celebs.
tonight,
Okay.
if it
It's
will
the-
Oh,
pop up. There it is.
I was gonna say all the talk of Shakespeare would have been perfect for a
Online
segue into the
versus
second
others.
one, but I'll leave that one for later.
Right?
Yeah, we'll bring Shakespeare
Oh,
back up, I guess, when we
We'll
get into
get
that
it
one.
back.
All right. Web celebs versus real celebs. I assume by this we're not talking about Spider-Man.
No.
All right.
No, that'd be
Ruben.
Ruben.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man signs whatever a spider can.
Does whatever a spider does. All right. I think this
Except
one,
for she webs us, but
this
Just
one was
saying.
cracking me up when I saw the banner come up, because I felt like I was like, wow, I feel like there's a bit of prejudice right there already in the title.
I know. I was thinking, like, are we giving our opinion already? Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? Web celebs versus real celeb. First off, I think it's probably gonna be important then for us to define what a web celeb is versus a real celeb. Who wants
well,
to jump
then
in on
you'd
that?
have to just define the word celeb first, right?
Okay, internet famous versus like someone
Okay,
in a
let's
movie.
let's define. Do we need to define versus too, motherfucker?
Well, I mean, aren't jocks? That was how I feel about jocks. No, people who are in sports aren't they also considered celebrities too?
What?
Right. Are those real celebs?
Sports celebrity.
So in this question, I guess there's so many different ways to break it down. And like, a celebrity is just anybody who's famous, right?
It's anyone who is
Yes,
celebrated.
but
Somebody who's well known and can influence people.
Okay. So even
Yes,
that
but-
chick, that the dumbass that put Gorilla Glue in her hair, she is a celebrity by that definition.
Is she
God,
celebrated?
somebody else
I hope
did it
she
like a
didn't-
week later.
I hope
Is
she
she
didn't influence
celebrated?
people to do that. That was about the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Somebody actually
There's
did
a lot
like
of
a
dumb
week
things around
later.
that time. Okay.
Oh,
My
they
two
get
cents
worse.
To differentiate
Yes.
these
Wh-
things.
Yes.
What are
okay.
your thoughts, Anthony?
Okay, so a web celeb is basically someone who's famous from internet purposes and media alone. So it could just be very innocuous. You know the name because they have a lot of followers, we'll say, versus a celebrity, which could be sports, music, or visual media like TV or film, which is different because I feel like that is showcasing a talent more often than not. Now, I would dare say not all web celebs are talented. Like some of them are, but most are probably not, or at least not in the same realm as those other ones, right?
See,
but they
and
do also hold influence, and like we have memes about them. They have followers. They have people who listen to them, and we're starting to see kind of a blurring of those two because some web celebs are now like leaking into like other media because of that celebrity status.
Well, Justin Bieber, right? Isn't that how he got his start was on like YouTube videos, and then like from there he I don't know how he crossed over, but
wasn't it Ellen? I feel like he got on Ellen or something. Like somebody like
Yeah, I have
helped
no
him.
idea.
yeah. The point of the matter is that he is one of those people that you were talking about who have crossed over from kind of like that YouTube. So what at least for me, then what it sounds like we're talking about is traditional media versus say
Modern
alternative media, right? Because who then determines who's a celebrity if they're a sports star or they've been in a couple of movies?
Viewers,
Hmm?
people who watch and pay attention to it. And so let's say that they're not all like bad or anything, but there are some very, very bad, terrible, stupid people that should not have nearly the following that they do, and yet somehow they have it.
Jeffree Star.
Joel
yeah.
Olstein.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, not to knock guys hot and all, but isn't like Mark Plyer or whatever, or like PewDiePie, the people who just play games and react.
I mean, there are some. I will say that there are some people who are awesome like that. Like Matt Pat, for instance, is fantastic. And we should celebrate him. That guy is amazing. Not only does he does a lot of science in his shows, he also talks about theories.
He's
like
doing
game
research for his
He
shows.
does a lot of really great stuff. He even talked to the Pope.
Which one's that?
Matthew
Matt Pat,
Patrick.
he does film theory, game theory,
Okay,
and
no, I
food
love
theory.
him. He is great.
And he does a lot of good for a lot of people.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
there's a lot of
But-
like work put into
And
that.
he's
though,
kind.
for sure.
Yes.
I
It's
want to
not
back
just like,
up just a
watch
little
me
bit.
as I hang out.
I
Although,
want
watch
to
as
back
we're
up
all
just a little bit though,
talking.
Anthony. You were talking about, because I feel like I personally used to be in your position, but I've kind of personally I've changed my thoughts or opinions on it. But it sounds like you don't feel like gamers online add value at all. That they're not worth
Yeah, that's a little strange.
making money.
Okay.
Not necessarily that. I think that's fine. I find it interesting that someone can do that. And again, we talked about this before. Like, should we be mad at them, or is it bad that they're making like a lot of money?
I mean, because we've been talking about on this channel about doing something.
It's like winning the lottery. Like it's winning the lottery. It's really also a question of, now that you have this status, this level of making thousands, if not millions of dollars, because you sit around and play games and film yourself doing it. What are you doing with that? What are you doing to enrich or help the people that are giving you this by watching you? What are you giving back to your community? What are you?
But we
See,
could say the
here's-
same thing about celebrities as well. Like
Well,
James
exactly.
Jackson.
A lot of the couch charities and other things that they get involved in, right?
Here's
So
my
it's
opinion
not
and
just
thought
for
about it.
Casper.
I think that, like, because again, I used to be in your boat where I used to think, what do gamers contribute? But in talking to some people and realizing, particularly during the pandemic, how many people were kind of cut off from other human beings. And this is a person that's coming into their house, maybe for 2-hour stream or a 3-hour stream every day that they kind of feel familiar with. So it's almost in a way kind of like a therapy, you know what I mean? For people who maybe they don't have a lot of friends.
I have my channels I watch for that. I love watching that chapter because it's the murder mystery stuff that I fall asleep to. And I also really enjoy Charlotte Dobre. I don't know if you've heard of her before. She does like reactions to people's like things on the internet. So it'll be like stories of like, am I the asshole for this? And like, she'll read the story and kind of
okay, that's interesting.
Or she reacts to like Bridezillas all the time. She's Canadian.
Another person I actually really like to watch who's not a gamer. Sorry, Anthony, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead. I talk too much anyway.
Well, that's what I'm here for, is to
Shut me the fuck up.
delicately to make you shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding.
Shout out, hey Rubik's.
No, I don't. I actually adore
Whoa,
you.
Rubik's.
All right, keep it going. What were you going to say, Aubrey?
I was going to say is another YouTuber that I actually watched that's gotten really big in the last year is Emily D. Baker. I adore her. She's great. She's not a gamer. She's not a YouTuber. Or she's a YouTuber. But what I mean is that she's actually a lawyer. She was a lawyer who was a practicing lawyer for 17 years now. And she does a lot of reaction and commentary and actually education about the law system. And she's one of those people who I think should be a celebrity because she not only is she fantastic in getting us educated, but she's really good at bridging gaps and really getting people to know. She really got into the Free Britney movement. She was a big part in that. She also followed the JD versus Heard case. She's following the Girardi case right now. She does a lot of that stuff, and it's really fun. She's really fascinating.
Hey, really
and Legal
quickly,
Eagle, yes, Legal Eagle.
I want to say what's up to Daryl and Matt. Daryl is the owner of Sight and Sound Audio Visual in Sacramento. They're actually one of the biggest companies in California that sets up stages for like celebrities, and they do all the mics and stuff for Sac Anime, and all the lighting for Sac Anime. So what is up and what is going on, Matt? Yeah, I feel like there is a bit of bias when we say web celebs versus real celebs. I remember an article that was talking about how mainstream media, in the language, when they would cover stories about say YouTubers or things like that, that there was always kind of like a speaking down to YouTubers, and it was I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this. And it was because the channels are afraid of the power that a lot of these people have to take away viewers from what they're, what they're showing.
I mean, it's about money, right?
I have a little bit of a opinion about it because of saying, oh, these YouTubers, like, not all of them are doing much. Like, some of them, like,
Sure.
what's the guy that went into the Japanese forest and showed a dead body, and then all of a sudden he's like famous on YouTube?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's those type of people for sure. Like,
So you have a lot more of those, and like, and I was, Terry kind of was like, you podcasters work really hard, but at the same time, like, there's others that don't work really hard, and they get like recognition for doing really dumb stuff. So it even makes me question sometimes doing the podcasting, where it's like, I of course, you can become internet famous, but of my opinion is that it means more that you're popular right now. You're not Angelina Jolie, you're not Brad Pitt, you're not Tyga or any of those kind of like celebrities that are in movies and music and stuff. That's talent. You have to, like, when you're an actor or a musician or something, you actually have to craft your talent.
That's kind of the
yes,
point
absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas,
and
like,
it's not to say there's not talented people. It's just saying that a lot of people who get that kind of level of acclaim didn't do much.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there are people who are considered celebrities that way too, that are really either up and coming or that they're like they've gotten really big, but then they just nothing happens. They fade away. There are those too, and that's a lot of those I'll put in that same category. Yeah, that category. I'm like, okay, if they're around here for 5 years, right? Yeah.
Everyone remembers Goatee's one song, but name another.
Right. Yeah, and Mezzo's saying those are like the one-hit wonders of the internet.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, I think just like any other entertainment, there's definitely, what do I call it? I guess consumable art and then long-term art, right? There's some stuff that's meant to be kind of short-term, digested day by day. A lot of these channels, even the channels that Mezzo and I know personally love, new rock stars, right?
I agree.
They survive on having the very latest news about Star Wars or Marvel culture or whatever. So their stuff is meant to be consumed on a daily basis in a quick little bite. Whereas you have other YouTubers. One that my son introduced me to that I love is Mark Rober. He's the guy, I don't know if you guys know Mark Rober, but he's the one that invented, people were stealing packages, so he invented the glitter bomb that does fart spray.
Yeah,
I love that.
I
love
love
that one. Oh,
right. So yeah,
that takes talent though.
But that guy only puts out like one video a month, but every video he puts out is like, a really well crafted. It takes a long time to produce these. So you have, different types of content, just like in your music too, right? There's some music that's fun, it's danceable, it's meant to consume in the moment, and then you have your classics that live the length of time and that you're going to enjoy in that album 20 years from now. Whereas, a lot of these artists you're not even going to remember.
It's like comparing Eminem to 6ix9ine.
Who?
Thank you for saying who. Oh,
but it's like that group. It's like that group that like took like the guy, the bands that was in music school. It took like all these years of school, and they wrote all these songs, and nobody listened to them. And then they did "What Does the Fox Say?" Everybody knows them. They're like, why do we bother? Why?
Well, that begs almost another question: is does talent matter on? Well, I guess the
talent doesn't matter for real
right?
celebs half the time either, unless they are like a sports.
True, a lot of it's nepotism.
A lot of it's nepotism. I mean, how many celebrities have famous parents, or were already really well off, or got into Disney before they were 12? Like, those things are big factors.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
There is that happen, and then there are people who are actually really that actually are really famous and have a lot of time done it, but they also happen to have parents that are also been in it. I could think of several that are just really fun. Like, and it also messed them up at the same time. They also did really good things for the world, like Carrie Fisher. Her mother was Debbie Reynolds. Yeah, did it give
And
her
then
a
now-
leg in?
and-
Yes, but she did fantastic. And now Billy Lord is doing it.
Really, Lord, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, that's pretty
Or
par for. I
Drew
mean, almost
Barrymore.
the entire film of Thor was like somebody's relative, wasn't it?
It was like the entire cast kids.
Right. It's like everyone who
Wow.
had a kid, they got a role. And you know what? I mean, as from a parenting point of view, you know what? Good on them, right? You're helping your kid build their resume even before they're out there and getting a working job. I don't think it's much different than what we would try to do with our kids if we had, if we were in that kind of a position.
Yeah, but for acting, I mean, it really does diminish that dream that like one day it could happen for you, because
Yes.
it really narrows that door of possibility of you getting in there. Like music, I think is a little different because music is a different form of talent. But absolutely, there are famous people's children that have produced music that has gotten put out there, and somebody else did the work for them, and then they
Yes.
just got tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
that
I
is
mean,
true.
isn't that what's that chick's? Oh God,
Well, I mean,
Taylor
that's
Swift wasn't it like her? Didn't she get her dad bought her way into industry, and then people saw
That
she
would
had
explain a
talent,
fucking hell of a lot.
so she was
Okay.
able to make it after she was in the door, but she got help getting in the door.
that's usually everyone
Taylor Swift's
that's
all right.
gotten in.
She's
But-
all right.
And
She's
you
not
know what?
bad. She's not good. But
At
she's
least
all right.
nowadays, and also you also have a team
Miley
of writers
Cyrus.
behind you. Yeah,
Miley
Miley Cyrus for sure.
yeah.
But she does have a lot of talent. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. She can.
And
She
here's
can-
here's
She can't make. But she's a lot of great writers. She didn't write any of her own stuff. She had a lot of great writers. But she does have a great voice, though.
right.
If she
Well,
harnesses
here's-
it correctly.
Here's another thing. I mean, we're talking about it, and I think it's only because it's entertainment when we're talking about movies and things like that. It's apparent, right? Jaden Smith being the next Karate Kid, we know that he had a chance because of who his dad was, right? And if his
Yeah.
Yeah,
dad
and then
wasn't,
after proved that was a terrible decision. So
what's up, Arkstar and James?
I mean,
what's up,
when we
James?
get After Earth, isn't After Earth? I think that was the last thing he actually did. Jaden Smith.
Well, no. Here's the bigger point that I want to
I mean,
make,
who
though.
his
If you-
parents are. I mean,
if you-
his mom is equally talented and famous as
Yeah,
as-
Jada Pinkett Smith is
Yeah.
she's a fantastic actress. I'm not gonna. Yeah, she's great actually.
So here's the bigger point that I wanted to make about that is, yes, I think it's most apparent in the movie industry because we can see those people, right? We know who their children are. We can see them on screen. But it happens in music, right? Think about Eminem starting G Unit, right? With when he brought his boys in, who obviously nobody in that crew is as talented as M. He was obviously holding up that entire group, right? And not to get too political, but let's look at politics. There are very many people that you
Absolutely.
can name that are. I mean, we had two presidents, right? George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr.
We also
we've
had the Kennedys too.
the Kennedys. I was going to say the Kennedys. There are so many families that we can name that are kind of legacy within their
they are.
industry.
They hold a lot of power, but I mean, are public officials really celebrities?
They are.
Well,
kind
no,
of.
no, that wasn't the
Electing
point.
a
The
lot of
point
celebrities as public
Can-
officials. But
can we
that,
bring
that
David
wasn't the
back,
point. The
please?
point of the matter
Can we
was
just-
is that.
Where's David for this one?
Can we get David back in here, please?
Oh yeah, David's
but
back on
Van,
now.
Prove your point. Prove your point.
Dan.
Yeah,
get-
no. So the
okay,
point of
there
it
we
wasn't
go.
that celebrities are politicians or celebrities. It's that type of nepotism happens in every industry.
Yeah.
I was just using politics as another example that we
Except
can
for
clearly see.
perhaps YouTube. I haven't seen a
I haven't
nepotistic.
seen a lot of it yet. No, I haven't seen
Not
a lot
yet.
of it yet. But
Not
YouTube
yet.
is. But YouTube is fairly young though, as an entertainment system.
Right.
Although now that
Not
you say that,
console
I
guy.
swear to God, I swear to God, I've seen a girl that I kid you not, I'm like, that's got to be Ben Shapiro's daughter. Like, she
Yes,
looks
I know who you're
just
talking
like
about.
him and talks like him,
Are you sure
but I
it's
don't
not?
think has a
Sure
name.
it's not his. Are you sure it's not his sister? Because his sister's on there.
It's
She
not.
goes
No,
by a
his
different
sister's
name.
Ben Shapiro's sister's hot, dude. I know exactly who you're talking about because she looks
She's
like
very
like
Ugh.
a
young.
female
She's
Ben
Mm,
Shapiro,
really.
but young.
Yeah, she's female Ben Shapiro, but young.
Yes.
Right.
That's his,
Ben
it was
Shapiro
his
is
mother.
young.
I call bullshit, but
Well, I mean,
maybe
just
we
because
need
some
to turn.
and I can say for the famous people, just because they're related to people. Although it is, I hate to say it, it is all about who you know and not necessarily what you know.
And your talent, yes.
Yeah, and I mean that is a hard pill to swallow. I have gotten a lot of my jobs based off, like, oh my gosh, I taught you, or I know you, or so.
But that's how most people get most jobs. That's really nothing. Nothing
Speaking of which,
new.
if you need actors, Veronica, let me know.
He knows, I'm sure. I've already said this to her. I'm like, if you need somebody who could do a badass role, I'm your guy, girl.
I mean, I'm working
Person.
on stuff. I've got friends, cool. So, I
That's not why I'm
happy to
friends with
pass.
you, B. I'm friends with you, B, because I love you. That's because you're an awesome person. That's not why at all.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Whereas some of my favorite directors have brought their best friends. That's why Army of Darkness even exists, because it's two friends that
Sam
graduated-
Raimi and oh my gosh, Bruce
Well,
Campbell.
Bruce
look
Campbell.
at Tim Burton. He can't do a movie without Johnny Depp.
And they-
Carter.
Well, and also Helen, but well, he married her, but yeah, I mean, they're just really good friends. They're really close. So, and he knows him, and he knows how to direct him, and I think that's partially it.
I think that's all part of human nature, though. So I don't necessarily blame
but a lot of directors specifically are like that. You know that the same people work with Quentin Tarantino for a reason.
I have a few friend directors that are like, hey, do you want to do something? Want to come and do something?
I don't have
Yeah.
to worry about you. Like you're going to do what I want. I know your capabilities. The same things like at my theater, at Downtown Theater. I don't have to go and audition because she's like, why the fuck would I need you to audition? I've seen what you do.
Right.
I like
I
working with you.
gotta go.
But
and plug my
it's not much different
thing.
than this group, right? If we were going to go out and do, signings or be at a con or something like that, I know what you guys do and what you guys are capable of. So, you're going to always, I think, pull from what's going to make you look best. So that's why I don't necessarily mind the nepotism in Hollywood. I think it's just more obvious and apparent there. But, here's something I want to talk about, because we talk about web celebs versus real celebs. Actually, I have two thoughts that I wanted to bring in. One, are we including things like Instagram models and things like that, or influencers on Instagram? And the other thing, when we're saying web celebrities versus real celebrities, I feel like in the setup of that, we're automatically looking down at web celebrities, right? But you look at somebody like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast will consistently, and in a year, probably spend as much as a major studio does on a few movies. He will spend putting out his videos on a consistent basis. Shouldn't he get the same kind of credit, or why is he looked at different? I mean, he does the same thing. He has his own crew. They're setting up for productions. They're setting schedules. They're building sets.
I don't know who he is.
Isn't
Mr.
Mr. Beast
Beast?
the one who did
That's
Escape
the
the
thing.
Night? Did Mr. Beast do Escape the Night?
I don't know what Escape the Night is.
I think it doesn't
I don't
help
know who
too.
Mr. Beast is.
That-
He's
he's
a celebrity.
He's the second. He's probably the second largest YouTuber behind PewDiePie.
Really?
He does a lot of he did the reenactment of the Squid Game competition. But he does a lot of stunt things. Like he went 14 days without eating. And he had himself buried for 24 hours. But he's really known for giving a lot of money away to charity and philanthropic.
Philanthropic.
Thank you very much. Those types of things. So yeah. The whole point of the matter is he still, if somebody is spending $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 per video, and they're putting out multiple videos in a week, if they're spending as much as a large major Hollywood studio, don't you? And they're putting out as much, if more content in a lot of cases, don't they deserve that amount of respect?
Sure. I mean, but that's just kind of going along the same lines that money means. Money is equivalent to talent. That's kind of what you're.
Well, but at least there's still effort being put into it. Like what we were
Right,
saying
absolutely.
earlier with the person just going out into a
What's up,
forest and
Hunter?
filming a dead body. That person doesn't deserve it. This person who worked really hard does.
What about Sean? What about what's his name? Dawson. Sean Dawson, I think that's his name. Anyone know who that is?
Sounds vaguely. He's kind of like a Jake Paul type of person, isn't he?
Kind
It's
of.
a
I mean,
lot
he's done music, he's done acting stuff, but mostly on the internet, and he's really problematic.
These aren't well enough unknown names.
He is. Sean Dawson is quite well known. Same with
Yeah,
like
I mean-
Christina Cooney. I mean,
Well,
Never
no.
heard of him.
But it's not the same as like
Wow.
Angelina Jolie. Everyone
No.
knows who the fuck Angelina Jolie is. You know,
Right,
what
but
she looks
that's
like.
remember we
something
were
she's
talking
been
about the difference between media, mainstream media, and kind of underground YouTube, Instagram. If there's a lot of cosplayers that are well known by by certain names and stuff. I have
But
no
they're
idea who these
niche.
people are.
They're niche.
They're niche, but they're still
cool.
celebrities in their niche.
Well, so then this
There's
is the real
still-
divide between these two, all right?
Well,
Web celebs have their followings, but like the real celebrities are the ones that are household names. That every single person that you come across would probably go, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." I think that's the real difference of a real celebrity. Like, there's plenty of people in the NBA, but you all know who Steph Curry is and you know who LeBron James is. You couldn't
That's true.
probably name the other 5 people on his team.
That's fair.
Well,
But
then,
right.
A real celebrity
here's-
is when I can go like, I can name a name and you could be like, who? I'd be like, yeah, that guy from, that TV
And you
show.
have a
You'd be like,
reference.
oh yeah, I remember that. Like that doesn't happen a lot with like YouTube.
So let me ask you guys
Not
this.
yet. Not yet.
Is John
Not yet.
is John D. Michaels, who is a regular on this show, is he a celebrity?
Yes.
I would say
Why
so.
is he a celebrity? If you didn't know who was under that mask, because at no point in that show does he show his face, right?
So
if you didn't know who was there, you wouldn't know who it was.
So I've just had a conversation with him about this too. Sorry, John, if I betray you a little bit about the difference between like you have like a YouTuber come in and go to a con versus someone who's actually been attached to like a TV show or a movie or an actual legit
That became
celebrity.
a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah. Whereas he can, what about C. Andrew Nelson? He is a celebrity. He's they have ABC type celebrities, A-list, B-list, C-list type celebrities. Drew will probably say that he's more like B-list. But we've actually said to John, like, you are a legit celebrity because he can go into a Comic-Con and like charge the big bucks because he was attached to a major conglomerate like Netflix. Whereas he's not just some YouTuber going like, hey, this is my opinion.
Well, he's not just some extra per se either. It wasn't just like he was one of the guards by the door. Like he had a part that intrigued people for a whole episode and like maybe 2. I forget how long the whole thing was with them. They came in at the tail end. I was really mad. They should have had the VIPs in at the beginning. Makes no sense.
I think the VIPs were in.
They would want to watch all of it. Like, what were they doing? Streaming from home like the rest of us? I don't know.
They were in 2 episodes, more like 1.5 episodes.
Yeah, that's
kind
what I
of.
was thinking. It was 1.5. But even to stand out where, like, yeah, he was the guy in the gold lion mask. Oh shit!
But there's going to be a moment where.
How about this as an observation then? How about this as an observation? So maybe the difference between web celebrity as far as real celebrities. What if the difference mostly is in the way that they're established? In something like film, movies, TV shows, a lot more people will watch it. If it's a YouTube channel or a podcast, then people are watching it for specific content and not because they're just watching a story.
True.
And then they get recognized more. They get put in another story. More people who may not have watched the first story they were in go and watch that one. So they get recognized by even a greater group of people. So they're more diverse in the way that they're viewed and seen, therefore more established.
I mean, that's fair.
Fair.
because I'm sure there are people that would pay the big bucks to see a YouTuber and get their signature, but many.
And actually, there is VidCon is something they do every year that's about YouTube celebrities. I know a lot about it other than, a lot of the bigger channel people come out and they do all kinds of seminars talking about how to build your channel or what. Okay, give me a second. How to build your channel or what have you. But and I would say, some of these YouTube channels have millions of subscribers. They get more views than, a television show might.
Did Aubrey need back in?
Oh, is she on the bottom? Like I can only see one row right now. Oh, it's on. Oh yeah, she's there. Sorry, sorry, Aubrey.
Epic failed. Epic failed. I was trying to hit something on the StreamYard and hit the login, and it took me out. That was an epic failure on my part. Sorry.
And just like that, blinked out of existence.
Right?
Yeah, I know, right? My star has fallen too quickly.
You're not celebrity famous anymore. Like, we've voted you out like Big Brother.
Oh wow!
Oh, that was a hell of a thing to say.
My star will last. Excuse me. I'm on my.
That was almost as rude as saying getting real actors on the show earlier.
Yeah, I was like, excuse. I actually do legit acting, guys.
Okay,
I've actually been doing film for like the last, before the pandemic. I've been doing film.
I
for the last
said
5
I needed
years.
a male actor. I needed a male actor.
Sometimes I'm male. Come on.
All right, guys, let's get back on
I
topic.
could be a male actor. I can fit in a small box. You can ship me. I'll be a male actor.
Are you wrapping up the segment? Like, name some of your favorites of your web celebs, and then your favorites of your real celebs, or like other media celebs, whatever they.
Oh, this could be fun.
Oh gosh.
All right, who wants to start?
Oh my god.
Anybody
What
got
are
any
names
favorite?
for my favorite one?
Well, apparently Aubin over there wants to start.
Aubin?
Ovid.
Apparently
Love
she's
it.
a dude now.
Ovid. Hey,
She
Aubrey.
cosplays
Hey.
Cloud.
Yeah, and Link, by the way, from Legend of Zelda. I've cosplayed with Link too.
Oh,
I've
ew,
rocked that
Logan
shit.
Paul. That was the guy that I was trying to think
Oh,
of the
God,
name.
no.
I said Jake Paul, didn't I?
Well, that's the brother. That is his brother.
Yeah,
apparently.
that's why that's where my mind went with that.
But V,
Thank
fun
you,
fact,
thank you, James.
Aubrey is actually originally a boy's name. So, there you go. It's an Irish
James
boy's name.
says
Back to the
Logan
question.
Paul. Yeah, you guys, we have a chat room for all this crap. Nobody gives a shit. All right,
Okay.
let's keep it moving.
Wow, Vin.
All right.
Wow, okay. So, anyways.
All right.
Tell us how you really feel, Van. Shit.
I know.
I
wow.
will.
Yeah, no, Logan Paul is sorry, James, if you were saying that you like him. That was the name I was trying to think of. He went to the Japanese forest and like showed a dead body, and everybody was like, ah.
Right.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, there are.
We could have
awesome
Aaron do that
somewhere.
for us, and he'd be a celebrity that way.
Yeah, there are a ton of YouTubers, and there's so many that I don't even I just watch like what comes up.
Which one do you like?
I love Mr.
I know,
Ballin.
right? I've been waiting. I'm like waiting.
Mr.
Okay,
Ballin.
I'm like, all right,
Mr.
fine.
Ballin. I
Yeah,
can do
I
that.
love Mr. Ballin.
Slapped Ham.
Same.
Who?
You guys watch Slapped Ham?
I don't know
Yes.
Slapped Ham.
Actually, I know.
Oh,
something.
he's
I know
great.
something.
He's
Yeah,
like
he's
Mr.
great.
Ballin, but he's like short stories. Like he shows
He
like
does
a
short,
clip.
scary
and-
stories. Yeah, really awesome. Slapped him.
I'm gonna look him up. I love scary stories.
Mhm. Oh, he
Oh,
does.
yeah.
He'll show a clip and be like, "This came from the Philippines, and the backstory is this, and the backstory is that." And Matt Torres is like, yeah, Matt Torres is great.
Yeah.
Matt Torres actually does have a YouTube page and does. I'm wanting to get that exercise show going with us here.
I don't
Yes.
watch a whole lot of YouTube. I don't.
Okay, so I love Mr. Ballin, like we all said. Yeah. I really like Nostalgia Critic. I like his content. He makes me laugh. I love Your Movie Sucks with Adam, whatever his name is. There's a lot of Canadians I like. I like Charlotte Dobry.
Cinema Sins, yeah.
I like
Rock
Cinema
Stars.
Sins. Ooh, the pitch meeting guy. I love pitch meeting.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I can't stand Nostalgia. I haven't watched him since
Wow,
Channel
wow,
Awesome
wow,
came
wow.
out. I'm sorry. I just
YouTube
can't
celebs
stand
are
his.
tight.
I can't stand his content now. I'm sorry. There's been too many talks about sexual harassment on set and
For
all that
pitch
stuff.
meeting?
No, for Channel Awesome, for Nostalgia Critic. I can't watch his
Okay,
stuff
you're right.
now.
I have heard.
Really?
rumors.
It's not good. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, like Lindsay
Aw,
Ellis, for instance,
funny.
like she's wonders why she left the shows because of all the harassment, and a bunch of others, like Luna Obscura. There's so many, and like Juwario was actually a groomer pedophile. Yeah, unfortunately,
Well, I
there's a
haven't watched
lot
it
of stuff
in months.
around.
If that makes you feel any better.
Oh, Jenna Marbles. You guys remember Jenna
Love
Marbles?
Jenna Marbles. Love her. How
Back
to
in the
grow your
I
day.
do not know
sermon.
Jenna Marbles.
If you do not put your sermon out, it will not grow. I love her. She's great.
I liked her when I was younger. I quit. I don't follow
Well,
YouTube very much.
she quit YouTube. She left.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you guys need to watch the downfall of Channel Awesome. It's a thing.
Okay, that explains why I haven't seen anything produced by them in a long time. Then I'll rescind my
Love
favor
Angry
and
Video
support
Game Nerd.
terrible people. Then
I mean, the
Um,
only here's the thing: Nostalgia Critic may not have been part of that, but he knew it was happening, and it was him, his brother Rob, and their Matt. I think his name is Matthew, who was the producers of the show, and they knew all the stuff was happening, and they didn't stop any of it, and that's why I can't watch Nostalgia Critic. The other
yeah.
guys that are connected to it
Mhm.
that didn't know anything, of course, I still like so many of them, like the Angry Video Game Nerd, for instance. He completely cut ties with them after this. A lot of that came out. A lot of Cinema Snob is kind of he also knew stuff was going down too. He's still with them, but a lot of them jumped ship after that whole thing happened in 2019. So 2019, 2020.
Okay.
So
Oh, I like Meat Canyon.
it's a shame.
Has anybody heard of Meat Canyon?
I have not.
Meat Candy, that sounds
He
familiar.
does the most disturbingly dark cartoons, and they're like fucked up versions of like old Nicktoons and Cartoon Network characters, or sometimes they'll be like Disney things or whatnot. He's phenomenal. All of his cartoons he animates and voice acts himself. They're all really fucked up though. Like go in there with
Wow.
a trigger warning ready because it's like usually very dark, disturbing, or just like really dark humor type of shit. Like you
Like
cannot go in
Salad
there
Fingers.
taking
You guys know about Salad Fingers?
Yes, I know
Yes,
all about
okay,
Salad
it's kinda
Fingers
like that. It's kind of like that, but it makes more sense.
from that
Because
part.
there's context behind it. Salad Fingers was just weird.
Salad Fingers is just weird.
Right.
Again, mine are Matt Pat. Obviously, I love game theory. I think game theory is fantastic.
It made me think of my Newgrounds
Everything he does is
days. I
beautiful.
love Bitey of
I love
Brackenwood.
Newgrounds. Oh, I miss
I'm like-
Newgrounds.
I'm like looking through the old stuff I used to subscribe to, and
I
all
miss
of it's
8-Bit
dead.
Theater.
It's
Yeah,
dead.
I miss 8-Bit Theater, and I miss from their the D&D game with Richard the Undead Warlock. I think it's Warcraft D&D. That's what it is, and fantastic.
I think one of the big differences too is can these people walk down the street or walk away and then never be famous again, right? Like
Right, that could be it too.
because we're all pretty popular. I've gotten recognized at like cons and
I have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're like
I'm not
If
saying
someone
that's
comes up to me tomorrow and is like, "Oh my god, you did Aerith on Kyber Cave," I'm gonna shit myself. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
not from here. It's not on here. Just
You're our celebs. That's right.
I was teaching a class, and I've told Van this story. I was teaching class, and I had one of the other temporary teachers. Like we would go in and out of each other's classes and stuff. And I was working with him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen Kyber Cave." Because like he was looking at me and like I was like, well, finally
so
like
weird.
hi, and he was like, I recognize. Oh, Kyber Cave, and I was like, oh yeah, and I guess his professor had shown Kyber Cave to his class as an example of how you should do an episode or how you should like do production.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Van's grinning now. So I mean, and apparently this was in San Diego, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's cool, V.
Okay,
I've actually had
other
the
celebs. Favorite other celebs. God, you don't have one musician, actor.
No, I've got.
You don't like anything. You hate all media. I don't watch movies.
Let's just look behind me and guess.
I love Brian Adams. So,
I like no entertainment.
I love Savage Garden. I actually am friends with Darren Hayes on Facebook. I'm not name dropping. He's beautiful. I adore that man. He's one of my big influences in my writing, my music. So the fact that he even answers my comments are amazing. Not fangirling, I swear. But yeah, I really love him as an artist. I was a big MJ fan. Love Michael Jackson. We all know this.
I like people like Adam Savage. I like people that are just really creative and just put it out there. And Mystery Busters was such a fun show when that used to be on.
Mythbusters.
Carrie Byron's also going to be at the next Silicon as well, from Mythbusters. So
I've been on a David Tennant kick lately.
David Tennant's fantastic. Fantastic actor. Really, really great width of actor chops. Yeah, great range. That's what I was thinking of. I know these things. I was just in acting class earlier today. I know these things.
I mean, he does from anywhere from Doctor Who to Shakespeare. I'm a huge fan of his.
Kilgrave.
Kilgrave.
Oh God, what a piece.
Anything he does, he can go completely scary, or like you just want to hug him, and I think that makes you an incredible actor. Oh,
and also, I know you guys are going to hate on me for this, but I actually really like Tom Cruise. I think he's a fantastic actor. As a person, jury's out. I mean, Scientology thing. But as an actor, I think he has one of the best ranges of our time. I do think he is a fantastic actor, and I think everything he's been in is fantastic.
I was actually thinking of Brad Pitt. Like, if you've ever seen 12 Monkeys, and obviously he's been in Fight Club, but he's been in movies like A River Run Throughs It.
Yes, I love A River Runs Through It. I think that's a fantastic movie.
I feel like both of those actors are people who are really good at their craft when they are given something to work with. But I've also seen both of them in terrible movies.
Yes,
they do not disappear into that character in the slightest, and you can tell they are just there.
Which one? Which one?
For which actor?
For Brad Pitt.
Definitely World War Z. That was a fucking terrible film.
I mean, to be fair, that's a terrible film.
There's nothing great about it either.
Also, terrible film. Okay.
Yeah.
For Tom Cruise.
I feel like some of those Mission Impossibles are kind of in the same realm as like Fast and the Furious.
Fair.
I feel like 3 or 2 or 3. I can't remember which one it was, but I was just like, God, this is just not all that great. And then I don't know.
2 is not that great.
War of the Worlds was another one where I'm just like,
I think that's a director issue because that whole movie had issues. That whole freaking movie had awful issues with it. To be fair, I mean, even John Cusack.
So even the best actors can't save a film. That there we go.
Robert De Niro, Hide and Seek, cool concept, terrible ending, terrible movie. Robert De Niro could not save that movie.
Hey, really quickly, I don't know if this is would be kind of related to this. It's something I've been thinking about this week. And since we're talking about I guess media and celebrities and things like that, there was a movie, I haven't seen it yet, but it's come out, and I've been seeing all over Facebook, everybody's loving Prey, the latest Predator.
I haven't seen it yet. I can't talk about it yet.
Yeah, the latest Predator movie. What I've been finding interesting was it got really bad reviews from critics, but when it came to the streaming service, I guess I've just been seeing a ton of people that actually have really enjoyed it. So much so to the fact that they said that this has been the good, first good Predator movie since Predator 2. And this is kind of a template on how other Predator movies should be set up. Is there something to be said for Hollywood critics? Do we even need Hollywood critics anymore?
If they're,
I mean, do they serve a purpose?
oh, that's a really good
Yes.
question. But yes, they absolutely do serve a purpose. But I think it has to do with not only just like with taste, but like also because that's subjective, right? We have to understand why is the movie good and why is it bad in an objective way. You have to and that is a lot that goes into it. And yes, so that's why we do need critics, because we need people who know the craft and know why is this good and why is this not? Why does this propel art, or why does it take away from art?
But if
And that
you
is
like
subjective.
something,
Right.
like something, do you need somebody else to tell you that that's not good? Like, I have this
Hey.
argument all the time with people that say, fucking, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Fuck you, it does.
Hey,
And
I
I don't care.
subjectively-
I don't care. You know what I have heard on multiple times? They fucking bring up this goddamn Gordon Ramsay and how he says that pineapple does not belong on pizza. But motherfucker, I don't care what Gordon Ramsay says. I like a goddamn pineapple on my pizza. I'm done.
But
Those
subjectively,
are probably the same
subjectively-
people that say that you can't have Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal mixed in with cream and mushroom soup.
If I can-
By
I
the way, it
can-
actually tastes
Wow.
really good.
That's
If I can bring
I don't
something
know how
up.
you came across that combination, but
If I can bring something up too, is they tend to do the Rotten Tomatoes based off critic reviews, early
Right.
critic reviews, and decide on whether it's good or whether it's bad. And often, about 60% of the time, audiences do not agree with the Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, I'm more propelled to go and see a movie if it gets a Rotten Tomatoes. So
Rotten
I
Tomatoes
mean-
are what the critics say, right? Or is that what the
Again-
people say?
what the critics say.
Again,
What the critics say,
critics,
okay.
you have to take what critics say also with a grain of salt, because Roger Ebert famously said video games are not art, and I completely disagree with it. And I wrote a paper on why I disagree with that.
Right.
So
what year did he say it?
subjectively,
Far had to come.
this was early 2000s. He said it. He said it in the 2000s.
It was on the cusp of
Dude,
turning into
2005.
greatness, but video games absolutely can tell great stories. He just
Absolutely.
wanted something that was in a very 3-hour frame, and he's like, "Oh God, it's 60 plus hours, and I have to say, I don't have time for this shit." So yeah, he's a good film critic. I think as far as film critics are concerned, like, you tend to listen to people and their reviews, and then if you've seen the movie and agree with it, you start to trust their judgment on things because they probably vibe like you do. About like, this is what I like in a film, or this is what I'm looking for in a film. And if it's the same movie I've seen recycled for the 85th time, I'm probably not going to like it because I'm going
Right.
to call out everything I see before it even happens. I hate when I go see a movie and I already know what's going to happen at the end within the first 15 minutes. Like, oh, great. Wow. Way to foreshadow. That was just as, gentle
The
as
fans of to be fair, Kevin, the fans of Mortal Kombat, from all I've heard about people who loved Mortal Kombat, did not like the new movie because it was false advertisement. They advertised that it would be about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and it was not.
It was about some rando's, character that wasn't even in the game. I always thought he was going to be the new Scorpion until it started, and I'm like,
No fun,
Aw,
John.
John,
Just fucking get
John,
I still like that. I still
come
like that movie though. Hi, John. I still like the reboot a little better than Annihilation though.
Actually,
Yeah, no,
John-
everything's better than Annihilation.
John-
to be
John,
Yeah.
we were just
took-
discussing whether or not you were a real celebrity. So,
yeah, you should have been in here, dude. Should have been in
Wait,
here.
yeah, you can jump on. Well, if you rewind this a little bit, if you go back and watch it, you will hear that's probably why your ears are burning and you jumped in now.
Your presence
And for
is
bed,
requested.
isn't it like noon over there?
he's not feeling
But
good.
Anthony,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
okay.
to be fair, they killed Johnny Cage in Annihilation. That's why I sucked balls. Just saying.
That and the entire
You are too.
script.
You are a celeb, John.
You are too, John. Stop. You are a celebrity. You're a celebrity in our hearts, anyways.
Says this, and then there's gonna be a day where he's gonna be like, no, you can't talk to me anymore. My agent, have your people call my people.
I know, right?
Right.
He's like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by sycophants, surrounded by idiots.
All right, my friends. Let's see.
But I was gonna say, subjectively, My favorite movie is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Okay, you guys can all hate on me now. I love that movie. I think it's a well-made movie. A lot of people disagree. They think it's awful. Kevin Costner is my favorite actor forever. I still think he's amazing. I'm the Pluto of celebs.
Yeah, and you're the same person who said that Attack of the Clones was horrible. So
Attack of the Clones was horrible. It's a terrible movie. I'm sorry. It is awful.
incredible
It's worse. I wish
it should have
gotten
an Oscar.
It's
During
like
the
Never Ending
Oscar.
Story 3. It's terrible. At least Annihilation's fun to watch. Attack of the Clones is not fun to watch. It's fucking awful. Awful. Please, I just want to scratch my eyeballs out.
The CGI is amazing, though.
No, it's not. It's so dated. It is aged horribly.
Andrew Nelson is crying right now. Okay.
Why is Andrew Nelson crying right now?
I think in every show I've got to work it in somehow to make a Attack of the Clones comment just for Aubrey.
It's like
every
Never
time.
Story 3. Why do you do this? Why do you do this to yourself?
They made a 3.
This is why I'm very careful about whether I say I hate a movie or not now, because like I know darn well I'm going
because
to run
David
into
is
somebody.
listening.
No, I know darn well I'm going to
David
run
is
into somebody that worked on the movie, and then like I'll have to
That's
use
fair.
my words.
Okay, subjectively, I know you may love Attack of the Clones. Objectively, it's a fucking terrible movie. There you go.
Well-
Subjectively,
You love the movie.
you know,
If you love the movie, I can't yuck that yum. Subjectively, that's great. I'm glad you love the movie.
well, I was going to say
Subjectively,
subjectively,
it's a terrible movie.
Lord of the Rings is the best novel ever written. Objectively, Jackson did a great job directing it.
I had
Okay,
someone
just
that
so you
ended a friendship
know,
with me.
Tolkien has over 60 years before Jackson even touched it. So I think
we're
it's
not
already
going
been.
down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah, it's
I
already
had
been
someone I had someone that ended a
established
friendship
that
with
he
me
is real. Yes.
over
go ahead.
hating the
Way
most
to do
recent
that on
Ghostbusters.
purpose, David.
Hey, Kevin
Oh,
likes
I
Attack
do
of
it
the
on
Clones,
purpose.
and
I try
that's
to
all that
bring out
matters.
The dark side in Aubrey.
Uh-huh.
Give
There's
him
no
my
light
your
that dark
anger.
is
Discussion for another channel that we're gonna make out of this. Come on.
Hell yeah.
We do. We need to make
Next,
like a
stop it.
nerd
Next, stop it.
complaining.
Anyways,
You know what really grinds my gears? But
Okay, Peter.
All right, my friends, I think it is time to move into our next topic here. I'm going to pop it up on the screen, and I think this was Veronica. Were you the one that brought this to the chat
Brought
chat
both
group?
of these to the chat, yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to let you start with this one then.
Intimacy
Intimacy
Boom!
coordinators. Now, this is why I wanted to make the Shakespeare comment earlier.
Oh yeah, shit, we needed a segue.
Yeah, it's too late.
Segue?
I was gonna bring up something to the effect of something about a pound of flesh. Intimacy coordinator.
Oh no! Boo!
Wow, more like pounding
Thanks,
flesh.
conservative. Oh, yeah, boo, boo.
Hey, I want to say what's up to Sally if you're still watching. I love you, girl.
I'm
Yeah.
throwing cabbages at you. You're getting cabbaged.
I love cabbage and corned beef.
A pox on Betsy House.
My cabbages!
Feel bad, better, John. We miss
The cornier, the better.
All right. Intimacy coordinators. You want to tell people who are watching that may not know what that is?
So an intimacy coordinator on set, when there is a love scene or some sort of touching, they're even been used for a fighting scene. Like say that there's a scuffle or something. Intimacy coordinators are meant to be there to help actors feel like they have a voice in a scene. They're sort of like your agent, but they're meant to stand between you and the director, the producer, and make sure that you feel protected when you say no, I won't do that, or I feel uncomfortable with this, or there's some sort of and they're meant to be sort of like the referee to help say, well, maybe if we do it this way, or even to preserve your modesty. Like you say, I need something a little more covered here. Then it's their job to say, hey, we need to slow down. This needs a little more, or this needs a little less, or we need to figure out something else.
Is there a reason the actor can't do that?
So.
Yeah. I like it.
So,
Basically, they're HR.
Basically, they're HR. They are HR.
Basically, but V, do you want to take this one, or do you want me to take it?
I'll start with the story that I kind of told you guys. I'll retell the story that to give it an example. I was on a Shakespeare play, and the one of the my Benedict. I was Beatrice at the time. My Benedict. We talked it over for a long time because there's a scene where he says, "Woman, peace. I will stop your mouth," and Benedict is meant to pull Beatrice in and kiss her. The scene ends with him grabbing me, dipping me, kissing me, and then and I'm supposed to flail and then relax into his arms, and then he writes me. Well, I had him for a little while. My Benedict had to pull out of the rest of the play, so I ended up with a new Benedict, and the next one was way too rough. His interpretation, and for some reason he didn't really want to talk about this with me. Whereas he would grab me by the shirt and pull me in and kiss me, and like I still had to do the flail thing, but it just felt very rough. Like he would just be too rough about it. And my shirt ripped, and we had to use an intimacy coordinator because I was literally ready to beat him. I quit the play after, and I got replaced as Beatrice because we just couldn't come to an understanding. And the intimacy coordinator wasn't terribly good at their job. So that
what did the director do about it?
The director tried to mediate, but it didn't necessarily work. Sometimes the director's too in deep because the director's job is to be looking at the scene as it is and whatnot. It's not the director. It's not necessarily the director's job to be playing the interpersonal going into the interpersonal stuff. He can say, take it down, but sometimes the director is the one that's perpetrating the let's go further, because they're trying to get a certain vision for the scene.
Yeah, there's actually a long history of a lot of that in film. Even Roman Polanski is a great example of that. You had even Amanda Seyfried came out and said that she didn't feel like she could refuse to do like nudes or things on set, places that she actually felt uncomfortable in because she was afraid of losing her job. There's a lot of that in Hollywood. There's a huge history of that. I mean, the casting couch is one of those, in for example, is kind of part of that type of thing.
A famous example,
right? Where you need an intermediary to be able to talk about that. I had a instance where a director was asking me to go shirtless for an audition, even, and I didn't, and then he ended up going, "Oh, you're just too old for the job," which is weird because he asked for a person in their late 20s, early 30s, which I was. And then he was like, "Oh, she's just too old for the job." So little sketch there. So you need people that are able to speak for you in these jobs when especially if you're just starting out in the career. And it's really important to have someone who has your back like that for those things. And that's why I think that intimacy coordinators are really important on sets. There's also Emma Thompson actually just spoke out about how intimacy coordinators are really important because of her early jobs that she did that didn't have them. It's really important to have them on that.
Where Sean Bean is saying that he wants to get into the moment and not be interfered with by an intimacy coordinator, where he's saying, actors should be able to just go with the scene and touch how they like and do what they like and use their bodies to do a scene.
To make that natural. But if you're not talking with your partner, they could end up feeling taken advantage of or violated on set. And that's what no one wants that. Because that happened. Roman Polanski, going back to Lolita, for instance.
Right.
What? Go ahead, Anthony. What?
Wasn't the show Bridgerton really renowned for doing so wasn't the show Bridgerton actually really well renowned for having great intimacy coordinators because they did a lot of really sexy scenes and there was a lot of talk about how those two actors had a lot of that going on.
Oh,
where it
Mike,
was that making sure they were
sorry. Oh, John.
John's
here. Woo! Yay!
Hi.
John,
Hey,
do
John.
you
Our
have-
celebrity.
Yeah. Do you have any
Do you know-
experience?
You graced us with your presence, Mr. Michaels.
Yeah.
John, do you have any experience with intimacy coordinating on sets, either for yourself or have you seen it happening on sets?
I yes and no. First of all, I want to just to give a kind of a overview of why it's necessary, because I feel like it's not being.
It's only scratched. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I feel from Van's questions, I feel like he's not quite grasping it yet. But like if we have stunt coordinators, and you can understand the need for a stunt coordinator. I would imagine, right? Like you can get very injured if you do a stunt incorrectly.
Yep.
And I think we have a problem in our culture, especially as it relates to men, but it relates to everybody, that we don't, with all the mental health issues that we're having in our culture, but that we don't look at internal and emotional pain or abuse quite as that doesn't have the reality that physical abuse or damage has. And I think that intimacy coordinators do the same thing as stunt coordinators, but for the internal abuses that our culture doesn't necessarily allow us to express very easily. And especially if you're in a position where you have, a male-dominated industry, and you have a young actress who is not comfortable speaking up because this is her big break. And if she suddenly says, I don't like this creepy old guy with bad breath touching my inner thigh, and should she just, because that's what that guy supposedly needs? I mean, I guess maybe he's not a good enough actor that he needs to touch her inner thigh in order to be able to feel something. Then she's not going to feel comfortable to say that, and that's why those things the intimacy coordinators are in place to give a voice to people who aren't necessarily didn't have a very effective voice in the industry. And I think Aubrey spoke about, with the director often being the one to push. I made a comment about.
You mentioned it. I just added on
the Last Tango in Paris. Famously, that's the Marlon Brando movie where he says, "Get the butter," and there was apparently a scene in there where the director and Marlon Brando discussed it, where he was basically going to rape her while they were filming, and they didn't discuss it with the woman. They knew it was going to be an intimate scene, but
I thought that was Roman
they didn't
Polanski.
say how it was going to be done or how he was going to come at her. And she was deeply traumatized from that, and still speaks of it as being a very traumatic experience. So it's because of things like that.
Wasn't that Roman Polanski?
Sorry,
I thought. Wasn't that, because that's who I was thinking it was, the director with that. But I know.
No, Roman Polanski is the director that raped the 13-year-old girl.
That's on Lolita, right? That was Lolita.
No. Lolita is Stanley Kubrick. And as far as I know, there was no rape in that, but that movie is about a pedophile. So,
of course,
creepy nonetheless.
It's a Nabokov book.
It's a terrible.
Based on Nabokov.
Yes, Anton.
Actually,
I mean, it's one of Peter Sellers' best performances, though. I gotta say, it's an incredible performance in that movie. But
so I actually have like.
Sorry, I messed up. Then I messed up on my information. I was mixing up the butter story with the Lolita with Polanski.
We all make mistakes.
Three
Aubrey.
different movies.
Sometimes you.
God damn it!
Rarely
I made this mistake.
No,
it happens every once in a while.
I have two stories that kind of come to mind on this where I'm both like guilty and also like needed it. Like, so I'll start with the first one. The one where I was guilty. I was much younger. God, that was almost half my life ago. Anywho, we were doing cabaret. And I remember that there was a night that I think I knew that like either my director was in the crowd or like somebody who was important was in the crowd that I wanted to wow. And I was playing kind of like a side character, Bobby the Kit Kat boy. And that it's like alluded to in the story that him and the main guy kind of had like a thing back in the day that he doesn't want to discuss anymore, but I keep on like coming up to him. And I wanted a really visceral reaction from my actor that I was working with. And so it was this whole thing of like really being insinuative, like the whole, dance. And I literally took my hand and I ran it up his thigh. And he did not know I was going to do that and jumped back with a real visceral reaction. I didn't push it past that, but like that was what I wanted. And I know that that's guilty on my part for not discussing that with him. At the same time, this other show I was in recently, I've done plenty of musicals where I have to do like the kiss with the princess at the end. Like that's easy. It's a one and done and it's meant to be innocuous. But in this particular scene, I'm supposed to not only seduce this girl, but kiss her multiple times. And me as a now, openly gay man dealing with a very open lesbian woman, having to do the scene together, we were both just very awkwardly uncomfortable about it. And it sucked because we're like trying to do this during tech week. We're trying to like finally kiss and we're both having this difficulty getting into it and not really even given any direction on like what our movements are supposed to be or how we're supposed to do this outside of just like, you have to do this and then like walk over here. But like it got so awkward that I couldn't help but start to kind of like giggle because she's like, okay, can you two just grow up already? Can you just like get through it? So then I went to go kiss her and then she kind of shied away. He's like, oh really? Now that the one guy's being serious, you're gonna get all stupid about it. And like it just kind of ground the whole rehearsal to a standstill. And granted, at the time I thought it was like really hilarious that we just got into this weird roadblock. But like hearing about this now, like this would have been nice to have somebody come in and be like, okay, so hold her this way or move your hand into this position. Do this so it seems natural because clearly you're both really uncomfortable with touching each other. So
clearly you have no idea about touching a woman. Anthony.
Well, I mean, I've done that. I'm not a gold star gay, but even still, it's been like a gold star gay.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
I was young and confused
Anthony.
at 19 at one point in my life.
Okay, Anthony. There's no shame in it at all. There's nothing shame. There's no shame. There's no shame.
That reminds me of if you guys watch the you can find it on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube. The movie Gone Girl. Have you guys seen Gone Girl?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I know it.
Okay,
yes.
so there Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and he plays the obsessive like ex or old friend of Rosamund Pike's character.
Uh-huh.
And so they have to have sex, and then spoiler alert, then she kills him. But
what?
When they were trying to figure out the sex scenes, Neil Patrick Harris, also a gay man, David Fincher actually just like put them in a room and said, "Why don't you guys figure it out?"
Oh,
and
no.
I guess they did. And now, this could be the kind of situation wherein, he's a gay man, she's a straight woman. Well, actually, I don't know what her sexuality is, but perhaps because there is no, issue in terms of, I don't know. There's always issues, but maybe it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to them. I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe their communication was great, which is important. Because that's part of the thing intimacy coordinators do is they facilitate communication between the actors and the director so that everyone's okay. That's my understanding of it. Just like stunt coordinators. I thought that was a really apt analogy there.
I directed two. Sorry. Go on.
Not just that, but you mentioned many of these actors are having interpersonal conversations and having issues with touching each other. That is often what they do. They use psychology to possibly get actors to feel comfortable with each other, whether music has to play or some sort of psychology has to come into it.
In defense of my guilt one, the other actor was also gay, so it wasn't like I assaulted a straight man.
But
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
if you ask me, that makes it worse. Where if someone who feels uncomfortable, like wonders maybe if you're coming on to him, and like I'm not saying you would, Anthony. I'm not saying you would. But like someone who would feel entirely uncomfortable in the situation because you're both gay, and like maybe the like now I'm confused kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And when you get into acting, you have to go and put yourself in those scenes. I'm sure John, you
Yeah.
can attest to that.
I did apologize to him directly after.
Yes.
I will also clarify that. I immediately after we finished that scene, I was like, I am so sorry. I just wanted a genuine reaction from you. I was really not trying to make you that uncomfortable.
Having been in the director role too, I really hate it when I find directors or any other actors that are like, I want a gotcha response from them. I'm like, why?
No,
Let your actors
why?
act. Let your actors act. Like, don't elicit you shouldn't be, getting a response from Jane. You should be getting a response from the character, Lily or whatever, right?
Right.
So I hate the gotcha response. I'm not saying anything toward Anthony. I totally get, that
You were young.
yeah.
You didn't know. But as when I've been in play, when I was in the play before the pandemic, yeah, we all made sure to talk about things like with my my play husband. We would always had conversation. We would talk everything out. So it's super important to have that communication with with the actors, not the characters, the actors, because you should be able to act.
I definitely think having communication between the actors is important. I think where my mind is having a little bit of a tough time with this one, just in general. Okay, I want to acknowledge that I understand, of course we have Harvey Weinstein and all the stories that we hear about the actresses and some of the things that they've had to do. I totally understand and do not condone any of that. What I'm having, I guess, a little bit of challenge with is like on a movie set. Okay, so John, isn't like if I was say working as a visual editor, so let's say I'm working in the editing room, I'm behind the camera and not in front of the camera. If I have a problem with my boss, isn't there some kind of HR department to talk to? Or
That's different.
do I just kind of have to suck it up for that project and not work with this guy anymore again? How I mean, I almost see it seems to me that the actors would have that same kind of an outlet. Is that not the case?
Well,
You don't want to go there.
No. I mean, I think that the way it works on a set, generally speaking, is your director is that person. Like there is very there. I don't know. I've only worked on in the States. I've worked on commercials and some like reality-ish TV kind of stuff.
I've worked on
independent movies. So it's only here that I've worked on like bigger movies and bigger dramas and everything. So I know that the people who are working here and the industry has changed so much in the 9 years that I've been here. So I know that people that have been working on American Netflix shows that have been filming here, they get like a care package, when they sign on, that's got all this stuff about sexual harassment as a part of it. And, so in that regard, there's a lot of that stuff that is being addressed kind of globally, when you walk onto the set. But I have not experienced that, so I can't really speak to that. I've only heard that secondhand. But I would just say that, when you're the same thing that causes things like the casting couch, this idea of really wanting to live your dream is the same thing that makes people unwilling to speak up when they're uncomfortable. You know, you don't want to be the one to ruin everything. And we find that everywhere in life. There's stuff like that, you know, peer pressure or whatever, where we don't want to speak up to something. And then the problem is that you have generations of men still in the industry who have never been, you know, spoken back to, who take these opportunities as opportunities to do whatever the fuck they want, and you know, to get a piece of like some hot young new thing, and that's just not cool. And I really think I think Veronica made a really good point about what the whole acting thing, and I kind of said something about that, like if you having to have access to parts of a person's body that they're not comfortable with you touching is the only way you can act something, then you're not an actor, you know, like that's
Right,
not, then you don't know how to
It's
act.
not, that's right. And what is it? The reason why intimacy coordinators are also good, because sometimes you'll have on set, you'll have somebody who is like in a producer role or a director role that you would normally go to for that, who you don't feel safe around. I've had instances of that where that's happened. And then what do? And then it creates a really toxic environment because A, you don't want to lose your job, and B, like you don't know, you get so to a point when they're in charge or they're in with the main people on top, you're like, I don't know how to act anymore. I don't know how to deal with them normally on a day. That
Jeopardize your
happened.
future projects.
That actually happened, and I ended up being let go from the thing because from a long-term project I was on for that very reason, because it got to the point where it was so like I didn't, even though I went to them and was like, hey, this is not, this type of thing's not happen, it's not okay. It ended up I was the one who was apparently responsible, and it ended up being it just was a boiler cooker at that point.
And if I
But how is
if
that
I'm-
how is that different? Let me ask you though, how is that different than, say, let's say I am acting in a scene and I do have an intimacy coordinator, and I say I am not comfortable doing this. The intimacy coordinator would then relay that to the director, right? Like, doesn't that still put you in the same exact position?
No, they
No.
are they're like having your agent on set, and what their idea is they come in and find a way to make everybody happy. They ask the director, what are you looking for? They ask the actor, like, what are you comfortable with? And then let's look at, you know, what's going on. Like maybe this guy doesn't need to touch her leg, or, you know, maybe we
Or
need
there's
to
another
talk
way of
about.
filming the scene to imply it without showing it.
Yes.
And then your consent is on record. That's the point.
That's the other
Your
thing too,
consent
yeah.
is on record, and the director
It's
then
have-
would
it's
have to be
Having a
asking you
neutral
to
party-
betray your consent.
Yes.
Do someone who's,
Yeah, it's-
who's
it's
not
having a
a
neutral
part of the
party
set or
based-
right.
The powers that be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is that the reason why it's not like an HR, it's not some like, you know, like an intimacy coordinator is somebody who is generally speaking is also an actor in my experience, but I'm not sure if there's like therapists who do
Someone
it or
who
what,
at
but
least
I've only
understands
known it.
intimacy.
Yeah, and acting. And the thing is that everybody has their own personal trauma. And you don't necessarily want to have to cough up your whole past experience about where you were touched to some, you know, faceless stranger. in HR. You want to be able to, you know, but you still want to be able to act. You know, you still want to, you know, pursue your dreams and live your life.
These are people who are on set with you guys too, right? It's not just some Judy in accounting. It's not somebody.
No,
in
they
a
become
phone
your best friend.
Yeah.
They're there to watch it and say, "Okay, hang on a second."
Yeah,
you have a relationship.
They're a mobile safe space on set.
Yeah.
They're basically like your
I got a
emotional.
question.
hang on, I want to clarify too, guys, where there is something called blocking, and I'm sure John can talk about this. There is something called blocking, and that's one of the things that your intimacy coordinator will be sitting through the whole time. Where
I love how you should forget that I actually am an actor, V.
well,
I love it.
For
I'm
our
amazed.
audience, Aubrey. For
I'm
our
not
audience.
She's like, I'm sure John could attest this too. I'm like,
okay,
thanks, V.
Aubrey
Major
and
Ty.
John and Anthony. Okay.
We all know what blocking is,
We
yes.
can all explain
Yes.
what blocking is.
You
I
all
don't know what
explain
blocking
is.
We can all explain what blocking is, but for the audience, David. Okay, David.
I'm not an actor. I just want to act like I'm an actor.
I'll point out that there's blocking. So your intimacy coordinator will sit there and go through and say, do you consent? Or maybe even fight for a close set where, you're saying, I feel uncomfortable in front of all these people. I want like 5 people on set, and or the bare minimum we need to have. Maybe that's all that needs to do, and your intimacy coordinator is going to fight for you for that. And then you go through all the blocking, and I'm going to touch here, I'm going to touch there. You kiss here, you kiss there. We're going to look each other in the eye. It's a dance. It's a dance. Like you said, it's a stunt. Lovemaking on set is a stunt.
David, what question did you have? You said you had a question.
Yeah, I did. So aside from having the capacity as a moderator, which it kind of sounds like intimacy coordinators are essentially, do they actually choreograph the intimacy or anything like that, or are they just there's intermediary?
Do they actually choreograph the intimacy?
Yeah, do they do that?
My understanding of it is they will the blocking is done with the actors and the intimacy coordinator and perhaps the director. And so there'll be things, the director has shots in mind that he wants to get, he wants to convey a certain thing. He wants a certain angle, perhaps. And then in order to get that, he'll communicate that to the actors and the intimacy coordinator, and then they figure out a way to do it that everybody's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
also,
so
Janina, I don't know of any laws. I don't know what laws you would be talking about. I mean, it's just this isn't pornography. It's just people, doing a kissing scene or a sex scene or hugging scene.
So that's what I wanted to ask about. If for intimacy coordinator, is it pretty much for just sexual scenes, or is it anytime 2 actors are close together?
It's anytime.
I mean that.
So like with this person, like okay, let's say I'm doing a movie, and in the movie there is one sex scene that happens. There's no other kissing scenes or things like that. Would this person only come on set for the days that the actual sexual scenes happen, or are they like your therapist buddy anytime you're not feeling comfortable on
there's
set?
something that's like at risk for it, there would be no need for them to be there, so they'd be like a part-time thing. But like for this particular scene, especially if it's a movie that has like a sex scene, like that's the scene. Like I don't know what Monsters Ball, I'm certain that was a big fucking deal that they would need to moderate that. There's plenty of rumors about that scene even.
Which one? Sorry, Anthony.
Monsters Ball with Halle Berry and
Christina
Billy
Ricci?
Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure that was a while before. I don't know if there was any kind of intimacy.
And I don't know if there was. And that's just it. There's so many rumors that they were actually having sex because it seemed so realistic, but I wouldn't fucking know.
Well, how about Short
really good
Bus?
actress? She got a fucking Oscar
Bus?
for it. Huh? I have
you
watched
guys
Short
seen
Bus where they actually do have sex. They do.
Yeah,
There's
John
actual
Cameron
sex
Mitchell.
in Short Bus.
I actually just saw John Cameron Mitchell is in. He's in The Sandman.
He is.
He is. I actually did my first time getting paid as an on camera talent was shooting with John Cameron Mitchell. We were doing. He hosted Escape from Hollywood on Independent Film Channel, and we shot all his promos. I was working art department, and then we
I was
had to
about to say, if
film.
you were in Hedwig Ditch.
No. We had a friend of mine was the bass player though, but I had to
Really?
film the I had to film cutting through the Hollywood sign with a chainsaw, and so it was my hands, and so I got paid as on-camera talent for my hands being in the shot of
Nice.
the
You were a
promo.
hand model. That's so cool.
And I was wearing gloves, but it was like the most I'd ever made in a day at that point in time. This is maybe in 2002, something like that. Well, long time
Just
ago.
got to ask, how much did you make on that?
That one was,
if you feel comfortable telling us.
Yeah, that was I was art department on that, and I worked for about an hour and a half. All we did was hang it wasn't even an hour and a half. I mean, we got there, we hung a piece of seamless behind him, and then we sat in the break room eating the very, very nice catering all day.
Nice.
And then at the end of the day, I was there for 10 hours because then we shot the hand thing at the end of the day. So I got like maybe 300 something for the 10 hours as art department. And then I got 200 for the hands.
Nice.
So, but this was a long time ago. This like 20 years ago.
Young and supple.
Yeah. But no, they were in gloves. I was wearing gloves.
One of my favorite sequences in modern film in which I feel that this is pertinent, especially because it was a director. If you've seen Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards, there's a scene where Diane Kruger's getting choked out by Hans Landa, and it's known that Quentin Tarantino is actually the one who's choking her out in that moment because they had an agreement between the two of them of like, I'm going to do this, we're going to get the shot, but I need you to be comfortable to know that you're safe with me, kind of thing.
Well,
And
you know,
I don't know how much
to Uma Thurman. He put her in the car and made her drive, and she ended up getting in a car accident.
She didn't want to. She was
He's
uncomfortable.
known
She
for
told him she
pushing
was
people
uncomfortable.
too far. Yeah. So.
And that's why
Or
you
so
need
they
stunt
say.
coordinators.
So wait, was
that's
Diane
what
Kruger
she
not
said that.
cool with it, or was she? Because I was under the impression that she was okay.
She did an interview about it, and now I can't remember, but I remember feeling weird about it after watching it. But I can't say, I could feel weird about a lot of things, so I don't know. But I know you can find an interview with her talking about it.
Well, Uma Thurman,
I've seen it.
What you were saying to that too is Uma Thurman did agree to it, but she was very uncomfortable. And she even told him that she didn't feel safe.
Well, because
but
of
she
the
still.
right?
Yeah, and it was like
yeah.
a Carmen Gia or something, which is known for my first ever girlfriend was drove a Carmen Gia, was obsessed with them, and then she ended up getting in a car accident and getting a brain injury.
I think I've seen the video where Uma Thurman crashes actually.
Yeah.
Intimacy coordinators definitely have to be there on set, Kevin. Can an intimacy mediator still do their job remotely via call if needed, or do they need to be on site?
They need to be on set.
You definitely have to be there.
You need to be watching it and be like, okay, wait a second.
And on one of the first films that I did, actually, I was forced to drive a car. A truck. It was someone else's truck. I had never done it before, but I did a stunt driving a truck at like full speed, then having to kind of fishtail it out. It's the first time I had done it. It was one of my first roles, which it was a shit show of a set, but it was awful.
An indie film?
It was even worse than that. It was
porn?
No, it's not porn. Oh my god.
I'm joking.
No, it was basically I was lied to. The guy said that it was a big time production, had people behind it, it was greenlit and all that. And they made me come in and I was like, oh, it's my first job and it's cool. It's actually a real big thing. And it turned out it was a college, it was like 4 people.
Like a college film thesis.
The actor was also the director, and it basically was a vanity project for him.
I hate
using 18 hours, no one ate. And we had 2 actors.
I did not hit her. I did not. Hi, Mark.
Two actors who came from
Hi, Mark.
They did not eat at all. It was 12 hours, like 18 hours.
What's up, Chris?
There you go, Chris.
I was so angry.
But I can't, I can't speak to what you just described, Aubrey, is like that's very similar to the industry here, where I always say it's basically just a very big indie movie industry where
Just fine.
there's
Don't lie to
no
me.
like there's no stunt like sometimes there's stunts and stunt coordinators. Like I
Well,
know
this was an
that the
action
movie.
movie, so we had to do all
Yeah,
these stunts.
well, the movie
Oh,
there's a movie on Netflix now that just came out called Carter that a bunch of people I know are in, and everybody on that went to action school. So, like if you're in an action movie here, depending on depending on the size of your role, they'll send you to action school, and you get training and stuff. I have not been sent to action school yet. I've been really wanting to, but
to
I
be
may
fair,
be too old.
I am totally usually down to do stunts because I like doing my own stunts because I do martial arts and I do
That's
fighting,
why
as
you
we
like
all
Tom
know.
Cruise.
It's probably why he speaks to my heart. Plus, he's also Lestat, so
Yeah, he's amazing as a stat. He does
He is.
get firm, great acting chops.
I don't know. Have I told the story about that I've done a love scene before on the show? I don't know if it's this episode of the show. No, I've done my biggest and never ever gonna happen again. Like I will kill him if he ever releases it.
Red Blade for life. That's right. Red Blade for life. That's right.
No,
I got the red blade. Red
boo.
blade for life.
Back in 2009, I did an indie film, and it's about reincarnation. I actually thought about
Oh, that's
remaking
awesome.
it because I was part of the writing, so I have the rights to it. Back in 2009, I did an indie film, and it's about reincarnation, and I'm at the very beginning where I'm. There's a serial killer, and it's really great. And they run through lives, and it's a good movie. But I'm at the very beginning, I'm at the very end, and I'm in this life, and you see me meet the guy, and I'm sitting in a bar, and I'm actually only 19 in the so we shut down a bar.
Wow.
I'm not technically supposed to be in there. I'm made up to look a lot older. But I'm at the very beginning, and I'm sitting at the bar, and I meet him, and then we go into the sex scene, and I'm with him at in the scene. And they found out, like, just we'd already done a lot of shooting. They found out that not only was I like 19, but I was not experienced at all about what I was doing, and
Oh,
we were gonna
no.
fake it till we make it. And I had the set mom get very protective. She was like, "What? This is not happening." So I mean, she was kind of my intimacy coordinator. It was very interesting because she explained to me, how we're going to do this, and you have to put your hand right here, and you have to move like
Yeah,
this.
that is.
And yeah,
This comes back to blocking.
yeah,
Of this comes back to
Blocking is really important.
And the best way I could describe this again to like maybe David or Van about it is that like when we're going into this area of suspended disbelief, like when you're on stage as a musical theater person, you block things differently than you would a film because people typically when they talk with each other, they look right at each other, they're face to face. Well, in theater, you have to turn out, you have to show it to your audience, but look like you're talking to each other. So there's a way of blocking certain, like say I'm not comfortable with the sequence because of how much contact is happening or the actions that are happening there within. That would be where someone would step in and be like, let's approach it maybe in this way where we shoot it from this angle now. You still get the intent of the scene without the visceralness of it. Or maybe do it in silhouette or do it in a way that we, don't see as much nudity or something to that effect where the blocking really is a key factor on, you can still tell your story and your vision, but you're going to have to maybe tweak it and modify it this way to get the same effect without it being as visceral or harming to the actors.
So to answer Chris Cope's question, I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Cope.
Chris Cope. It doesn't matter whether it's soft porn, whether it's hard porn, or if it's just romance, intimacy. I think it should be that there should be a intimacy coordinator in all of those situations. Because that really will help all of your actors feel much more comfortable.
He was not looking. Um.
The what?
Dave was
Uh,
always. Yeah. You're right. It doesn't matter if it's what it is. You're still going to be. I'm sure that a lot of porn. I'm not sure if porn. I've never been in porn, so
Yeah.
there's never.
Never.
when
We've had lots of conversations about it.
Yeah.
when I was I
Bacon now.
I actually directed this movie, which I think I talked about last time, called Strings, which is on my YouTube. And we did not have an intimacy coordinator. And after I shot that movie is when I took the intimacy coordinator workshop, and I had wished that I had had an intimacy coordinator on that set. But the funny thing is, before I shot that, a friend of mine had written it, and his wife was directing it, and she was casting some people, and she had cast a friend of mine in the male role, and there's like this very intimate scenes in there, and he was saying, I'm not sure how I feel about it. My girlfriend is maybe a little upset, and I'm not sure how to talk to her about it. He was asking my advice. And then I ended up like, for some reason, the director stopped doing it, and a year or so went by, and then they asked me if I would shoot it, if I would direct it, and I agreed, and the person wasn't going to do it, so I shot it with other people. But while I was talking to him and giving him advice, I'm sitting with my wife, and I said to my wife, I was like, how would you feel about it if I was in that situation? And she just looked at me and said, nobody's going to put you in a kissing scene. Damn.
Wow.
So harsh.
Nobody
Put
puts
on
John
blast.
in a no one puts John in a corner.
I guess, I mean, I didn't realize I was so past it already. That's all. So sad.
And then
So-
it says the
Maybe
link
find wine, buddy.
that was sent
be
out
fair,
is
I
for
kissed you.
strings. Is for strings on your YouTube channel there, John.
Oh, hey, thanks,
the-
Mets.
Hey,
Our
you said that
fabulous director.
they have intimacy coordinators in porn.
No,
No,
we were wondering if they did or not. I don't think they
did.
We
I don't know if they
if-
do.
Might.
I'm sure.
If
I'm
they-
saying
if they
I
did-
think they should. They should have it. I think that more with women run porn in the porn industry. Again, I've never been in porn. I've just
Neither
watched
have
a
I.
documentary
Neither have
about
I.
porn. Especially there's a documentary about women in porn, and actually more about trying to get women to direct porn. They now have a lot more safety precautions about the porn in the porn industry to make it more workable for women, because women's comfortability and women's voice often gets suppressed in the porn industry. Not always. There are a lot of really active women in porn, because it used to be run more by women, and it was a women's power thing. And then men got into the industry and became changed it to something completely different than what it was meant to be. And then women's
And then there's
voices
gay
really
porn,
got suppressed.
which, you just need a lot of lube.
Oh,
So-
gay porn.
If
But
if
to
they
be
were- if
serious,
they had that
should
in
have it.
porn, when they block those scenes, would that be called cock blocking?
There it is.
Oh,
There it is.
There we go.
Wow. There's the
Wow,
setup
David.
and the payoff.
Orlos.
Sorry, I was late on that one, but
You were late on the cock.
That's
man.
what he said.
I had to do it though. I had to do it.
Yeah.
That kind of comment
All right, guys.
has to come from me.
All right, Ruth.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's only one.
I think,
I'm the puppeteer. Yeah.
Well,
I think
unfortunately,
cock
there are a lot of
blocking is a
reasons why
beautiful
people are
place.
in the porn industry.
Wow,
Um,
what?
Well, Janina says, well, they shouldn't be in the porn industry. I agree. If that's what you're trying to, I'm not sure what you mean by who shouldn't be in the porn industry. Actually, I'm confused. But I do think that intimacy coordinators are really important in any of the industry where there's intimacy, so that everybody has a voice and everybody's safe.
Yeah. And I think it's also, there's a big difference between a theater and a film.
Yes.
And, when in theater you do all these rehearsals, you do, oftentimes you do these like exercises at the beginning of rehearsals, where you do like zip zap zop, or like throwing
Tip of the
imaginary
tip of the tongue.
objects, or yeah, exactly. So you're doing all these warm-ups together.
Haven't had that in a minute, but
Yeah. So you do all these warm-ups, you get really comfortable with each other, and you kind of organically develop this intimacy that is not present at all on a film set for the most part. On a film set, you come in, you work for a few days. On a bigger thing, maybe you're working for Strings. We shot in 2 days. Now Strings, we actually rehearsed for a month and a half. And the reason I wish I had had an intimacy coordinator is just I feel like it would have been better if they had some more emotional distance from the characters. I was kind of, as a director, I was like, why don't you guys get to know each other? And then I think they got to know each other pretty well. And maybe I could have saved them some emotional damage. But I think everybody's fine now, so it's okay.
That's good.
Some movies are shot backwards for that, right?
What's that?
Some movies are even shot backwards to you can watch a casket closer and closer if you watch it backwards, because they'll shoot the ending and then go to the beginning.
Sometimes they'll do them out of sequence.
Well, yeah, a lot of stuff is out of sequence, often.
Often.
Yeah.
But not emergency declaration. Which what's today in America?
Oh, yes.
It just came out today. I'm literally, you blink and you miss me. I have one line that I say off camera, and then none of the stuff. I shot all this action stuff. None of it made it in, except for you see my back. It's very, very athletic, I have to say. I was very impressed with my 50-year-old self. But I leap over a chair, I leap over one of the seats, but you only see me from behind. But emergency declaration opening nationwide today.
That's
So
awesome! Yay!
If you want to see John's back and hear him off screen,
Well, no, you see my face a couple times too. But yeah, it's not very exciting. I'm just.
Is that the one? Is that what you had to get the wig for?
No,
Was that for
that was a commercial. That's a commercial.
I love it.
But it's crazy, because if they had just let me cut my hair, I don't look nearly as bald when I have shorter hair. But when you have long hair, it starts to look all wispy and stuff. So if they had just let me, but they wouldn't let me cut my hair. If they had just let me cut my hair, I think it would have been fine. But now I got a free wig, so it's okay.
congratulations on your
Congratulations! Woo!
All right, guys, we are about 3 minutes away. We still got our outros. We're going to start with our little wrap ups here. Let us start this week with Miss Aubrey. What you got going on, Aubrey?
I've been working on a lot of music projects right now. Yeah, that's really what I've got. I've been doing a lot of acting, like classes and stuff for auditioning. But that's pretty much what's going on. Mostly just music. I'm working in a new band right now, so I've been working on a lot of original songs. They'll come out soon. When we're doing a lot of competition work. Right now, we just submitted for a competition. So I hope that goes well. That's pretty much it. Right now, that's all. Other than just I have karaoke shows that I host on Wednesdays, and yeah, maybe I'll do more in the future.
Alrighty, Mr. David.
Oh, you're muted,
Oh,
David.
crap. Sorry.
You're still
I like
muted.
him better that way.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Be nice to our pet conservative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you say something?
All right, what you got for us?
I don't know. I just got lost in thought.
We were talking about
Been a
porn,
lot-
and
been-
he was like, "Woo!"
I know. He
we
was
were
just
talking porn, and my mind started wandering.
the internet. It's for porn.
It happens.
Porn.
Porn.
Is that
No,
the
it's not
cosmic?
sweet.
Is that the cosmic anus behind you right there? That you're.
Hey, John.
It should be from now
Yeah,
on.
that's it right there.
I mean, it should have been
It's a-
red. But
It's a big blue asshole. Hey,
There you go.
I'm gonna watch your.
Wait, wasn't that like a
watch the
kid's
movie that you're
show?
in, John,
The
just so
Big
I can
Blue
watch your
Asshole?
athletic backside jump over a
Yeah,
seat.
thank you. I want you to do that.
Oh,
It
Um,
was Avenue
Oh
2.
God.
Grab
Yeah, but
your
I think the
and
Big Blue
double click.
Asshole was a children's show when I was a kid. Yeah.
the big blue asshole.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
that was the
I
follow-up to
remember a
Blue's
big
Clues.
purple asshole. They called him Barney.
But you guys don't wait. There's two other
Fair, the
old
Big Blue
guys on this
Asshole.
set.
That's
Nobody
more
remembers the
no.
Big Blue Marble? You guys
No,
don't
I don't
remember
know
the Big Blue Marble?
No comment.
Ah,
No comment.
all right. Sorry.
All
I made a
right, what do you got, John?
Another stinker old man reference.
It's okay,
Stinky
John.
old
keeps-
man reference.
John keeps
You are
like
not
John-
old. Stop it, John.
John, no, David keeps
Nobody
talking
gets
about
my references anymore.
Hey, I usually do.
on our chat. David keeps talking
Oh,
about
poor
Happy
Gen
Life 7.
Xers. I'm so sorry we don't get your old man Gen X references. Sorry.
I just looked it up. Big Blue Marble is from 1974, so you guys probably
Yeah.
weren't born.
Yeah,
yet.
that's the year I was born.
20
There
years
you
before I
go,
was
there
born.
Yeah.
All right, John, this is your outro. What do you got to say?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Tennant.
I don't know. I'm gonna go back to trying to rest and lie in bed. I can't tell what's going on. I get those weird.
He's never done
feelings
anything
here.
before. He doesn't have anything to.
not celebrity,
Well,
but-
yes. If you want to see my athletic back jumping over a
Backside.
seat in an airplane, then
He was
I'm
gonna
not
check
actually
out his
sure if you can
backside.
actually see the backside or not. It's mostly my kind of strapped, ripped back that is, kind of bulging out of my t-shirt. But but
Really? Do you Hulk,
yeah, I mean,
Hulk Hogan that shirt off and then jump over? No.
no, I don't. We had to keep
Oh,
it. We had to
God.
keep it PG. So, but
Now I
me
can see
see.
his John being
Confidentially-
like the Hulk.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, when I was a kid, I had a green Jets jacket, like a sports jacket, and I used to button it on backwards, and then turn around and go, "Urgh," so the buttons would pop open like the Hulk ripping his clothes off.
Now
when
I
he
know what I'm
goes,
gonna
Fat
cook.
guy in a little coat.
Anyway,
Fat
Now I
anyway,
guy in a little coat.
I'm she Metz kindly posted the strings thing there. That I directed that several years ago at this point now, but I don't know. You can check out my stuff. I put up stuff there. I put up music, or I haven't made a movie in a long time, but sometimes I put up little scenes I've done, or occasionally I'll try out a monologue or something, and what else?
Right,
Instagram Sudden_A. That's the real me. Don't be fooled by other John D. Michaels on there.
Wait,
And
John, you
why
play
don't you
guitar and you
hire
sing?
me? Yeah. Did you? I obviously you have never been to my YouTube channel because and I sent all that stuff in the chat, all those guitar
Did you?
tracks, which apparently don't work for you guys. Maybe I'll have
I
to try
didn't
and,
see them. I'm sorry. I have been
we-
busy doing this.
We couldn't get them to
recording.
play.
Yeah.
Play.
We've got like
Yeah, you
3
probably have to
people,
download
4
them.
people, I think. No, 5 people who actually are like who sing and do that. We basically have enough to make a band, guys.
My first record is that I ever put out. It's the 30th anniversary is going to be at the end of this year.
Cool, John.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna have
Right
to
on.
definitely go and listen to your stuff now.
So it came
Well,
out. when I
that
was-
record, I'll post that in the chat. I'll show you guys
Please.
my old band. Oh,
That'd be
actually, yeah.
awesome.
Somebody look for that. It's Tallow is the name of the band, TALLOW, and the record is called Red Disc of Proxima.
Thank you.
And if you
Thank
look up,
you, Michelle.
it's not on my channel. Tallow Red Disc of Proxima. Disc is spelt with a C. That is my first album, which came out in February of '93, recorded in December of '92.
Oh my gosh!
actually-
So
we
you're like
talked
right
about
around
that.
the same age for that of Savage Garden. They came out.
We have
right-
we actually
Wow,
talked about that
Aubrey.
and have a link on that for the interview that we did with you on Saber Rattle. We talked about that album, and it had that link in there. So yeah, you can check that out there. Or just check out your YouTube page.
You have your sludge metal.
Sludge metal, yes, that was sludge metal.
I bet you my
Is that it, Mets? Did you find it?
Because Talos sounds familiar. I bet you I've heard you before. I bet. As a kid, and I didn't know anything.
Well, everybody enjoy.
Woo!
We will.
All right, Anthony.
Hi. So you can all catch me tomorrow night in Fairfield for a one-night only Draguation performance. There are still tickets on sale, I believe. I do not know how much they are. I'm not that invested. But otherwise,
what's a Draguation? Just explain it.
It is a graduation celebration that is done with a drag show, and it's Fairfield's very first drag show, apparently. So it's like kind of a big deal. I'm hoping that the proprietor of the venue, which is my director Day, she's lovely. I really hope that this does really well. Not only because like I can tell that the concession stand is probably going to make money, but they also are making money off their ticket sales, and it's something that doesn't require a bunch of licensing and rights and rehearsals and like paying out all these actors and whatnot. Like, make it a regular thing and let me fucking host it occasionally because I would love that gig. Other than that, fun talk today. Sorry if my voice is still raspy.
Yes,
it's going to be perfect on Sunday when I go as Dr. Mrs. the Monarch.
And I heard, I don't remember where I saw this, but there was somebody that said that there was a rumor that Mary Gibb was going to be there.
I don't know. No. I don't know.
Was that you that brought that?
I said someone
at
mentioned
graduation. What? No, I have no idea.
No. I wasn't sure. I was like, someone mentioned it. I was like, did Mary mention it? I couldn't remember.
I know somebody in the chat was saying, and I was like, what the hell is she doing coming to Fairfield?
No.
I'm going to the Stranger Things Whimsical Market tomorrow. That's what I'm doing in Stockton. So
I was like, someone recently mentioned it to me, and I was like, I just talked to Mary. I can't remember if it was she that mentioned it to me or somebody else mentioned it to me. I was like, I know someone else.
Can we just let Anthony do his outro, please?
Yes, let him.
Please.
Aubrey, if you're coming to Stockton,
nobody's getting a full outro today.
I'm offended. No. It's fine.
Oh my gosh, we need to get. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. If you're in Stockton.
We could go to 101 Ramen. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Hey, God, it's so cute when the kids walk in there with all their anime shit from Naruto. I'm like, oh. That would have been me. Yeah, otherwise, I had a great show on Wednesday. That's why I'm so shot vocally. We had the Lodi Chamber of Commerce come through, surprisingly, and a really big-ass crowd. So I'm hoping that my show keeps on building. I'm hoping that this thing in Fairfield continues and spawns more stuff. Again, you can always catch me here on Fridays when I'm not having to work and cover somebody else's shift. But for the most part, I should be on days. So we should be good. You should see me next week.
Also, I have to go find my Naruto. I have to go find my Naruto band now. It's
I have
storage somewhere.
I got one from the Hidden Leaf and like 2 Itachis, and one of them's cheap. So
there's another dad joke in there about the asses as well. The big asses of the crowd members. That there's a dad joke in there that David has once again not picked up. The obvious dad joke to
then
make,
you need to do the dad joke.
On.
Get his slack, John. Get his slack.
He's the dad. We got 2 dads here.
Apparently, I don't get to.
I know. I don't know why.
Apparently, I don't get one.
No, you guys can do it. Okay.
But Anthony,
I'm sorry. Van, let's let Van.
That was 2 different
Van,
conversations.
please,
Mary and the Draguation. That was 2 different conversations. But anyway,
yes, Matt. Everybody knows the Spearings. The Spearings run the whole theater community here. They're like the mafia of theater. All right, I am Arc Excala with the Kyber.
What about Veronica?
Oh, yeah, what about B, man?
Rude.
Don't forget Sailor V.
No, you haven't done Veronica yet.
Oh, that's my bad. Here we go.
He always tries to
That's
save
not. That's
people
not the
last
first
week. It's
time,
not
right?
that.
It's up there
No,
somewhere.
it's not the first
Okay,
time.
it's not just you. He's
Yeah.
done it to me like 3 times. It's
Yes.
fine.
Is it a boys against girls thing? Is that what it is?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. All right.
I am Veronica. I do nerdalism. We had an excellent episode last night with Terry Harden, who is a amazing Imagineer. Tomorrow we have a really great voice actress who is from Heroes of Extinction, because I'm starting to talk about my Heroes of Extinction family. And yeah, so we're going to talk about her work and her theater work and all the fun stuff. So tune in for that, because that should be a lot of fun. I there's a lot I can't say yet, so watch me dance, because we're waiting to make some big announcements in the next month or so, hopefully. So there's a lot we can't say, and so that should be interesting.
Say Wong, we still love you. This is
Yeah,
Dee's moment.
Say Wong is awesome. I don't know what he does, but
Say Wong
do you
is a
do, Say Wong?
cosplayer.
This is
And
Sailor
Because
B's
he never
moment.
gets
Shush.
no outro, so we don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
He never gets an outro.
Thanks for we'll do the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Thanks for joining us, Say Wong. We had to reschedule with him to see you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
See you later, man. All right.
All right.
Yeah, other than that, I'm going to set so I should be posting on my Instagram and whatnot. I don't know if I'm gonna post. I don't know. I can't post on set. But other than that, yeah, follow me, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff now, Nerdlism.
All that
And
day.
we're going to be bringing a new show. Mysterio Tremendum is probably going to get renamed and brought back. Aubrey is hopefully joining me on Nerdlism pretty soon.
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be awesome. We've been talking about it for a while. We just need to finally pull that trigger on it, get it going.
Do you mean the incredible actor Aubrey McCoy?
Yes,
Is that who
yes.
you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's got
Oh,
quite
yeah.
the extensive resume, don't you know?
Yeah, I know,
Actually,
I
I do.
Including being a very sexy man.
Yes.
I am.
Yep, she's
I am-
definitely got balls.
I am actually
Check.
very sexy. Man.
Just
You
like
know
I
that.
have tits, but they're on my table. It's different.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, we've seen those too. So
We have actually.
All right.
We
as
are a
at the
very progressive show here, guys.
12-minute point. I am going to get this wrapped up. I am Arc Excala. I apologize for that, V. Don't forget to check out kybercave.com. We have lots of sabers and other merchandise. I just spent like $300 last night buying every little Lego figure I could find that carries a lightsaber. So we will have the entire assortment of Lego characters at our store available very soon. Anything having to do with sabers, I try to find it all. Make sure to come back here Sunday at 7 p.m. We have Joshua Pilla, incredible flow artist, does some tricks that I've never seen before. I'm excited for this, but he is going to be our main interview as well. And just for some of the people on here, I want to remind you, I had a TV show that ran for a couple of years on demand, and I
you
was
had
on in
epic
like the beginning of-
hair.
I have like, I know what blocking means, guys. Just because I don't brag about my shit all the time doesn't mean I haven't done shit.
Sorry,
I know people, all right?
Hey, God.
I want to
We're just
post
trying to
that
say-
one day. Mezzo, post that. Post his show.
Hey, I just want to say that we have.
I want you to get a
amazing people on
T-shirt
this
that
show.
says that, Van. I want you to get a T-shirt that says "I know people!" exclamation.
I know what
people who do
blocking
cool
is.
shit
It needs to
too.
be merged. I know what blocking is. That needs to be on a
you guys
shirt.
have to
Know a single anime ever.
You guys have to see this show. He had epic early 2000s hair. It's great. I loved it.
Fantastic. I love my hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it frosted tips? Did you have the frosted tips, Dan?
Well, I mean, it was kind of pinkish at the time. I had my fingernails
okay.
polished.
Okay.
All right, y'all. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us tonight. All the people that will be joining us later, watching the show at a different time.
Yeah.
We are here every Friday at 9, unless we decide to move at 8. There was a poll that went out. I don't know if anybody responded. I don't know if Matt's
Please
got it up
respond
on
to
our
that, guys.
Kyber Cave page.
Yes,
But,
it's earlier.
There are some people that would like to have the show earlier. We would like to know, do you want
There's some
the
East
show
Coast
to move
people
to
that would like to start earlier.
8 p.m. right? If you want to start at 11 instead of midnight, that is what the petition is for. So make sure to let us know if you like 8 o'clock or if you like 9 o'clock Pacific Coast time, and then we will vote on that later. All righty, y'all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Peace, y'all. Let me get this. Let me get our little. Oh, we have an outro.
Yeah,
tonight.
Nate.
Outro.
Nice.
More outro.
Outro. Here we go.
More
Here we
comeback.
go.
We're back.
What did that?
Who's still alive? What did
Dude,
you
I
do?
cannot. I can. Okay, wait. Now.